Hey, Nick.
Hey, Tys.
How are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. I'm really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excited to be back for another week?
I am.
We're pretty fucking excited to be We're back in the room.
Oh, we're back
in the original room.
The room we started in.
We did start
We're
here.
back at my house.
Surrounded by DVDs and like some gnarly carpet and
Yep.
yeah.
And a wall of DVDs and a massive shield.
It does make a big difference, I think, compared to my fucking what was it? My accountant's office, basically. So this is much nicer.
But that's okay.
We've got some really exciting news. Let's do some stuff. Welcome to Nick Tys and Videotape for another week.
Yeah.
Hey Nick, where can people find us on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, well, you can find us. Let's start with iTunes. You can start us off on iTunes.
Do you know what I've noticed about iTunes?
Oh, go on.
We haven't had a rating and a review for a while.
No, we have. I saw.
We did one.
Yeah, I've seen like 2 new ones.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I take it back. Thank you, lovely listeners, for rating and reviewing us.
Thank you so much. But yes, the point of iTunes is to rate, review, and subscribe because they really do bump us up in the numbers.
Yeah.
Of the billions of film podcasts.
I thought you were about to say the billions of listeners.
Billions and no, we don't have millions of listeners yet.
Where's that sweet podcast money that I should be getting?
It'll come. But yes, you can find our podcast anywhere. Just type in Nick Tys and Videotape. Other than that, if you would like to write to us, you can email us on Nick Tyson Video. Sorry, I had a mental blank. Nick Tyson Videotape at gmail.com.
That's the one.
And then we're on Facebook and we're on Twitter. Just type in Nick Tyson Videotape and you'll find us.
That's it. And you can be featured on our mailbag section if you write to us.
Yes.
It's an honour and a privilege, I am sure.
Talk to us.
Hey, we've got a special guest with us today,
we do.
Nicholas.
We do have my friend Ben Linhart. Ben, how you going?
Welcome, Ben.
Very well, thank you, gentlemen. And I just wanted to say thanks for having me in this lovely room. The first thing I noticed on the shelf of DVDs is a copy of Fried Green Tomato.
Hell yes! I love fried green tomatoes. Tell me you don't love it. No, I'm alone here.
Yeah, I think you're alone on that one.
Kathy Bates, no?
Yeah,
okay,
that's not really... Kathy Bates is cool and everything, but she's not like my fucking litmus test on if I'm going to like a movie.
Fair enough. Look, I know my viewing is very obscure sometimes. That's fine. I really don't mind.
True.
Really
hey, Ben, welcome.
Thank you.
It's really awesome to have you, man. We're gonna make a tradition out of this.
We are. Go on.
And as we start, because we did it ourselves, and if anyone wants to find out our story, you can go back and listen to our very first episode.
I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
Yeah, look,
further
you
down
can't
the track.
fucking shut us up about some of that stuff. But we'd love to know, Ben, how did you start?
What got you
movies?
into film? Was it a film that got you in?
I was very lucky to have an older brother, 5 years older.
Ah.
And so the advantage of that was every school summer holidays, he would go and hire out all the MAs, Rs that I was not allowed to watch. And it was 10 weeklies a week. You know, I mean, that was summer holidays. It was 80 films over the summer or something ridiculous. So I've seen some good shit and some really bad shit.
Does anything stand out?
Well, I don't like fried green tomatoes.
Okay, come on, enough of my fried green tomatoes.
There's plenty of films that stand out, and hopefully we get to talk about some of them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I reckon the 5 weeklies for $5
it was a classic. Everyone must have done it, yeah?
An Australian institution.
It was so good. If you missed out on 5 weeklies for $5, you're missing out on life, really. Kids don't have that these days.
No, they don't have it. Well, because video stores barely exist. There is a Blockbuster. I have seen one in Greensboro. And it's really weird. I've walked in there because they were having a massive X-Rental DVD sale. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go check out, see what's floating around here.
Yeah, man.
It's a really bizarre experience to go into a video store now. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
And you feel bad for the guy that's like hanging on to that dream, man. It's like, no, I don't think it's working for you, buddy. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Having said that, if anyone wants me to run their video store, I will do it in a heartbeat. Just email in.
But isn't it a bit sad?
Yeah.
Because the last video store I went into, just the shelf of the weekly walls or whatever were just really gappy. And especially because in my memory, video stores were VHS. DVD hadn't really taken over yet. So now they're all the DVDs have taken over, and it just makes the shelves really gappy.
When I was at... well, actually, I'm going to ask this question first, and then I'm going to tell another story.
Oh, okay, go.
What store was your store? Were you a Blockbuster man, Video Easy man, a Movie Land guy, perhaps?
Oh, I wish.
Anyway, Ben?
Ben?
I was lucky enough to have an independent, Video Vision on Carlisle Street in Balaclava, which just went out of business like a year ago.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
And it had like everything, films that I could never find anywhere.
Yeah,
it had them, and it was
so good.
amazing.
And were you in there every weekend?
Yeah, I unlike you guys, I didn't get paid to be there, but I was there a lot, and free videos on your birthday was the best.
Oh,
good deal.
Yeah, and
nice.
I literally didn't know about it until one birthday. I just queued up. And I had 10 films. See you later, mate.
Oh,
that's so good.
Just 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, mine was so when I started, it was Civic Video.
Oh, Civic. That was the
Civic,
other one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the same store had 3 changes while I was there. So I started working at Civic.
Yep.
It then changed to Movies Plus.
Well, I've never
You've
heard
never
of that.
heard of that?
No.
Movies Plus? No, I think it was a random. And then it turned to Blockbuster.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it took over.
Oh, well, I was a Video Easy man.
Video Easy. Oh,
Yeah.
Video Easy. Nice,
That was
nice.
my store of choice.
Yeah.
But I was... when I was there, speaking of like the VHS to DVD time, we used to get like, we had the Video Easy movie guarantee. Do you remember that? Get it first time or get it free.
Get it free.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So I remember, for instance, like Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, yep.
Was
a classic.
Was a Video Easy movie guarantee, right?
Right.
So we got like 80 copies of that on VHS. We got like 4 copies on DVD.
Yeah.
It was at the time when it was like, no one's got a fucking DVD player. And that
Everyone had a
one
DVD.
guy that came in is like, you got it on DVD? We're like, oh, fuck, this guy's rich. It was like impressive. Everyone was all, whew.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Yeah, good times.
I
man.
remember putting the first DVD on the shelf. I believe it was Twister.
Oh, wow.
Twister was the first
It wasn't Swordfish?
DVD to come... No, I wish. No, DVD to come out. I think it was Twister. Yeah.
I don't think there was a small batch of releases that was the first bunch of DVD releases. It could have been part of that, but there wasn't like one singular title. They picked about 40 or so, and they dumped them all.
Before we get to Trailers Talk, did any video store or any video store that you went to have Laserdisc?
No, never.
No, I missed Laserdisc. I had nothing to do with it. I do own a couple of Laserdiscs because I was greatly donated some by a good friend of the podcast, Ridden, who he bought them thinking they were LPs of the soundtrack.
Right.
And was like, oh, fuck, they're Laserdiscs. What am I going to do with this? And I was like, hey, man, if you don't want them. He's like, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, my God. What are
and
they?
So they're really bizarre. It's like West Side Story.
Oh, yep. Amazing.
The Mission. That De Niro film,
the cross off the waterfall,
that has a great soundtrack, so it makes sense.
But that's why, because he wanted the soundtrack, and there was one other which was really like, it was not like a cool movie or anything.
Yeah,
but I went on a bit of an eBay hunt for a Laserdisc player because my local cash converters, which I tend to haunt a little bit because I go see what cheap DVDs they got because people just fucking junkies want some cash and they get rid of their really good special edition DVDs and I go get them for $2. And I was looking through and they had this like gold mine of Laserdiscs.
Right.
They had the Indiana Jones trilogy on Laserdisc.
Jesus.
They had the Godfather trilogy, and they were $40 or $50 a pop. But I was in my head, I was like, "Fuck, this is." But only if I can find a player.
Yeah.
And I went trolling through eBay, couldn't find a player anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Without paying like $1,000. So
is the image on Laserdisc any good? Like, is there a reason to own?
Apparently better than DVD.
Really?
Yeah.
The only film I've ever seen on Laserdisc, a friend when I was 13 had Dumb and Dumber. So I don't know if that was a good test.
Yeah, that's how you want to test. Like, yeah, I just bought a fucking 58-inch. Let's put on
Dumb and Dumber on Laserdisc.
Those crisp pastel suit
that is amazing.
Colours.
Amazing.
All right, hey
So
boys,
good.
should we talk some trailers?
Let's talk some trailers.
Let's do it.
Everybody's talking
Trailers. I'm not going first. Mine sucks.
Okay, go for it.
No, I'm saying I'm not going first.
Oh.
Mine sucks.
Well, should we give the guest of
Yeah,
honor
let's go with
the
guest.
privilege?
I don't think I've seen a trailer that you guys haven't discussed already.
Oh, that's right. We were going to talk about. Well,
Tell us what's your what trailer have you seen that you're excited for?
Can I do the reverse?
That you're not excited for?
So
yeah,
Blade Runner
sure.
is my favourite film of all time.
Okay, great.
And I was super pumped for a new Blade Runner when I heard that Ridley Scott was not directing, and that trailer looks phenomenal, but I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, sure.
It looks like an action movie.
yeah,
Blade Runner isn't an
wasn't an action movie.
so
No,
I
No,
really
fair
it
call.
was
hope
pure sci-fi.
they don't feel that kind of need to jam in as many gunfights and chases and explosions as possible.
Yeah, I mean they could be going either way with it. I think the funny thing about that trailer is that, and I have seen some like parodies of it online.
Really?
Because it is super, like, you could take the piss out of that aesthetic really easily.
Yeah.
Like, if I just had, a cheap, like, fucking DJ light and just had it next to my face and made like a serious face that I was, contemplating something, I think I would look like I'm in that trailer.
Yeah.
So it's obviously it's almost overly predictable in its imagery. Like here is exactly what you think a Blade Runner movie should look like.
Yeah.
Here it is. So there's that element where they haven't exactly kind of he hasn't really kind of done anything unexpected with it. But at the same time, maybe it's like this is the Aliens to Alien.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Good point. That's a good point.
I don't actually think it's going to be an action film, though.
I hope it's.
I don't think he could do it. I don't think Denis Villeneuve would bother if it was going to be just an action film.
But if this is his first like studio film, really big, everything's riding on it, does that mean he's going to bend to the pressure of, this is what we need it to be?
Yeah, perhaps it is kind of his. But when you get some Academy Award clout, though, like sometimes you kind of get a bit of extra
leeway.
Extra
Maybe
say
they
on a
give
project.
It to you. Yeah.
I don't fucking know how it works.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
here I am talking like I'm fucking Hollywood insider.
Do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll talk about mine.
Yeah, you go.
All right, fine. The only reason I want to talk about mine is because this week wasn't really a big one for trailers, unless you want to watch, the third trailer of this or the featurette of fucking Wonder Woman. I just don't like that they're oversaturating. Anyway, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm going to move on. I watched the trailer for, I believe it's a Netflix only original film. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's called Casting Jean-Benet. The documentary.
That's well and truly available. You can watch that at any point now. If you like.
Really?
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, it's
okay.
good to go.
Well, I watched the trailer for it, and because I'm getting into true crime. I was never into true crime.
Cool.
Until my wife got me into it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit weird. It says that it's a documentary, but it looks like they're taking a dramatized spin on the reenactment. Does that make sense? So getting actors to really fill out the reenactment of what happened. Does that make sense?
So it's a dramatization of a reenactment.
Does that make sense?
Hang on.
Not really?
No.
Hang on.
So paying actors to do a really, and you know how on Crime Stoppers they do a little reenactment, and these actors are terrible or whatever. They're just there to basically put bodies to names or whatever. But this is what they're doing is they're doing one-on-ones to the camera. They're kind of not doing it as a documentary so much, but taking the facts and making it a film. Basically.
So they're documenting the process of casting like a Jean-Benet Ramsey film
while telling the facts of Jean-Benet.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, I'm on.
It's really that's what the trailer and me searching it and looking up what people have said. That's what it looks like.
Cool.
And it looks.
That sounds
some people are either really on board or people just don't get what the fuck is going on.
And did the trailer look good?
It looked okay. It sparked my interest enough to maybe give it a watch. But it's one of those ones that I'll give a watch, and if it's not firing off any guns within that's a wrong way to that's really terrible. If it's not entertaining, that's terrible. Let's keep digging.
That's well done.
If it's not good,
then
in the first 15 minutes I'll turn it off.
I reckon, documentaries, man, I think you got to let them breathe a little bit more.
You think so? Then 15?
I like a documentary when you're watching one thing and after about half an hour, the subject has revealed itself to be something completely different, and you're like, this is gonna be cool.
Well, the other reason why I took a liking to this because I don't actually know anything about Jean-Benet. I feel like I'm the last person to know either how she died or whether it was the parents or I don't know anything about the... Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it was kind of before our time, wasn't it? We were a bit young when it happened.
Yeah, and the same with the... is it Cuba Gooding Jr. doing the OJ movie? Is it the OJ?
Yeah, he was
movie?
OJ in the series.
Yeah, the People's versus OJ. I'd like to watch that because I don't know about that either.
Yeah, I was. What year was that? Like 95?
Yeah.
96?
I just remember the car chase.
I remember the car chase.
It was 5 cars in a row and 1 car going along the highway.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. But yeah, first-time director, Kitty Green, casting jumping A. I'll give it a watch. It's all unknowns. There's no one in it.
I've heard really good stuff about it.
Yeah.
I've heard it's great. I've heard it's kind of fucked up, and I've heard it takes a turn and gets really interesting. So, like all good documentaries do.
You've made me want to watch it now.
Oh, there you go.
With your wonderful description.
Oh, it was a terrible description. I'm going to dig up next time. Well, it was hard. This week was hard, Tys.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What are you watching?
I watched the Red Band trailer for The House, which is it's a Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler comedy.
Yep.
Where the daughter is gotten into a very, prestigious college. They can't afford to pay for it, so they turn their house into an illegal casino.
Just roll. The script is amazing.
Which, look, do you know what? They've got me sold. Like, it's Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler, two like extremely funny people who I will watch almost anything either of them are in.
Yeah.
It's got Jason Mantzoukas in a supporting role, who is fucking great. Of How Did This Get Made podcast, if anyone listens to that wonderful and very popular podcast.
Yeah.
It looks like legitimately R-rated, which is rare. And I do love when that happens.
R-rated comedy.
Yeah, I love a good R-rated comedy.
Yeah, man.
Like a really R-rated though, like
Porky's.
let's talk about Porky's. Porky's is
not good.
Problematic at best.
I'm kidding. Don't get the instance that I like.
And there was some really funny moments in it with some unexpected violence, which made me really laugh. Well, it appears that there's elements to running a home casino that are a little bit similar to running a real casino. So they're when it comes time to maybe kind of
bust some heads.
Oh, they take it a little too far.
You've got Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell trying to do that, and you can imagine the hilarity.
Amazing.
So I had a good giggle. I think I'll probably watch something like that. I mean, whatever the Will Ferrell movie of the year is, I tend to kind of watch it. I go, yeah, fuck it, I'll try it.
Yeah, I like it.
Why not? Yeah.
Who doesn't like it?
So you and Kanye think he's a genius.
Is that it? So we'll give it a crack.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'd probably see it. if it makes lots of casino jokes, like, and I mean, the film Casino.
Yeah. I mean, and like, you couldn't pass up that opportunity, surely.
Yeah, if Amy Poehler's putting people's heads in vices,
and then that's it. I expect Amy Poehler to have like various interchangeable fur shawls, Sharon Stone has in that fucking movie.
Yes.
So there you go. Trailer talk. That was a thrilling segment today. We had fucking nothing to talk about.
We had nothing. Well, this is what's going to happen.
Let's just move on.
Fair deal.
So what did you watch this week?
Shall we talk about that?
Maybe with a sweet Jamaican intro. Maybe not.
I can't reenact. That was a one-off for me. There's no way I'm going to be able to reenact that.
It was a magical moment that we can't recreate.
I can't do it.
I can't even remember what I fucking sung. So I don't think they were notes.
The only reason I remember is because my wife's been singing it for the past week.
Well, there you go. I just did my best UB40 impersonation, and off we went.
UB40.
Once again, we will pass it on to our guest of honour.
Yeah.
And what have you watched
did you watch
recently?
This week, Ben?
Well, I hate to start everything off on a negative, but I had the dubious pleasure of watching Alien Covenant.
Oh, all right.
So,
all right.
No spoilers.
No,
Go for it.
I promise no spoilers. This was the last chance I was willing to give to this. I can't even call it like a series. This loose collection of crap.
Yeah.
I saw Prometheus. I really, really didn't like Prometheus. And I get that the major criticism of Prometheus was it was nothing like Alien. So it kind of seems like Ridley Scott thought that the best way to fix that problem is just to make Alien Covenant look more like Alien and call it Alien, not actually fix any of the really big problems with Prometheus. Number one being the dialogue, the characters. So you just have the same people that seem to be selected to explore outer space and don't have a fucking ounce of common sense. You know, I mean, it's like, come on, people. It's like that bit in Prometheus where she just takes her helmet off, and you're like, are you like
really? Yeah, I know.
Well, they don't even put the helmets on; they just land on the planet, no helmets. Yeah. Here we go.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be fine. We're in space.
Does things don't exist? Do they?
It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
They're an Earth thing.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell.
So it starts kind of like that, and it just, I mean, it's just bad sci-fi tropes. You know, you can pick who's going to die. You don't know any of their names, and not even Fassbender can save it. Just like the last time.
It's funny. I'm hearing mixed things, but generally,
it's generally
the most
negative.
Positive I get is it was alright.
Yeah,
like,
and that's not good.
No,
especially for an alien movie like that trailer. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good looking trailer. It was a good looking poster. But I kind of smelled disaster.
Oh, did you?
As soon as
go on.
They decided that they had to put the alien name to it.
Yeah.
Where I was kind of like, that smells like a bandage to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, okay, I'll give you a chance. And then, everything I'm hearing is just like, it's kind of trying to fix Prometheus's fuck up.
Yeah.
But can't do that. Is just a bad example of an alien film.
It's he thought the criticism of Prometheus was it was missing the xenomorph. So he put the xenomorph in and he gave it the name. Yeah, exactly. That's not the problem.
Seriously.
So he hasn't fixed that.
Prometheus would be a better film if it wasn't an alien prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really true. Seriously, yeah. And the fact that the characters my problem was the fact that we didn't care about the characters. Not only that, they were dumb.
Yeah, and look,
like
I've made peace with the fact that sometimes characters you can't.
But you're not going to take dumb people to space.
No, you're not going to take dumb people to space. That's true. You have to be pretty smart to go to space.
You have to be pretty smart to go to space.
It's true.
I believe that Sandra Bullock and George Clooney are very smart.
Well, the people in this are guarding 1,000 sleeping colonists as well. So these aren't just like, it's not like their responsibility is just a ship. Their responsibility is to be the best of these people, to look after them, and when they land on this colony world, to be the people in charge, to make all the difficult decisions. Like, they're trained, employed, picked. This is the point of the crew in Alien Covenant.
Right.
Is this the start of LV-426? Is this the start of...
I'm not certain.
Okay.
I don't think this. I don't think it's the same.
I'm not giving spoilers.
Okay, cool.
This is what you know from 5 minutes into the film.
Right.
And doesn't that... Like that sets people up to be smart, to make good decisions, to have survival skills.
Exactly. You've been picked to start a colony. Like,
well, maybe it's the people asleep that are smart, and they treat those guys as like expendable. They're like, look, if shit goes down, at least
it's fine. We'll be fine. We'll be dead, but we'll be fine.
It's tanked though as well. It's had a really disappointing opening weekend.
Didn't
overseas.
even come close to Guardians.
Oh, so it did knock Guardians off?
No.
Oh, that's correct.
It might have knocked it off first place, but not with... Only because Guardians into week 2, and so its return isn't as strong.
It did. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it made like 35 mil, I think, which is fine, but I don't think it even did Prometheus money. I think it...
Because everyone was jacked up for Prometheus.
Everyone was pumped because it was a fucking good trailer.
Yeah.
And... But that was a very similar situation, I think, to this, is that as people were geared up to watch it on that initial weekend and the kind of the consensus started to float out that, hey, it's a bit of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You lose 50% of those people, because if it was me, I'm like, oh, well, I might go do something else then.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, instead of, because I was all geared up, but maybe I'll go watch something else.
Or
I'm the only man in the world that wants to fucking see King Arthur, so I'll go do that instead. And I won't worry about this fucking new one, you know?
Shall I go next?
Yeah, you go.
Yeah? Well, no,
I'm just topping out a lot. I don't like our sound today.
Fair deal.
I don't understand it.
It's all right. We'll get there. I picked something from the list, Tys. You know
What do you mean? What's the list?
It's on the list.
Oh.
You know, when someone says to you, "Well, have you seen Top Gun?" You go, "No, it's on the list."
No, that's not on his list.
Like a good friend. Really, that's not on your list.
No.
How is that not on it? Okay, moving on.
At some point, I'll watch it.
Yeah. Okay. Really, it's not on the no.
It's not on like
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
To be honest, you're
it's
not
a
missing. You're
priority.
not missing out on anything.
So,
But yeah,
sweet
you know how
volleyball.
someone says to you, "Oh yeah, that's on my list of things to watch."
Okay, so this is like good stuff. People recommend things.
People recommend things.
you have
It's been there. You know that this is going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I watched 12 Angry Men, 1957,
Oh, wow.
great.
for the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah, cool.
One of the best films ever made.
Fuck me, Jesus, that just beautiful movie. It was just a pleasure to watch. So from everything, clearly it was a play beforehand, but just with pacing and the tension, and just it's nice to see a script that works. Yeah, I know that sounds really stupid, but it's a script based on dialogue. This movie does not move from this room for I think it's 10 minutes out of the room. That's it. The start of the court.
Sure.
And then they go into the room where they decide. I'm going to spoil everything because it came out in 1957, people. But yeah, it was amazing. What was I going to say about it? Yeah. One thing that I never knew, like 12 Angry Men is always referenced in things, or you've always heard about it, but I never knew what the plot of 12 Angry Men was. I thought it was, for some reason, because of the cover, I thought it was biblical. No, because of the remake cover, I thought it was biblical for some reason, but it wasn't.
Like the case was religious in nature,
Yeah.
or was it a biblical epic?
No, I
Yes.
thought it was a biblical epic.
No
I did.
shit,
No, I
really?
did. Yeah,
That's
I did.
amazing.
I thought it was something to do with the Ten Commandments or
Or the
something
12
like that.
apostles or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Angry Apostles.
Yeah, they really did. But yeah. Oh, and one of the things that I love the movies back in the 50s or things like that. How and coming from a little bit of an acting background, just no pausing. Literally no pausing. If someone says dialogue, they're like, "So what did you think that happened the other day?" "Well, yes, he was very nice." "No, what did you talk about?" "Well, I'm going to get to it. It's just that you haven't let me get to it." "Well, what are you talking about?" "I'm going to get to it. Why don't you just let me get to it?" And there's no gaps at all.
I
I
love
love
it,
that.
man. No,
I fucking love
That's
that.
what a conversation.
I know. No, but
people are
it's
just waiting for their chance to speak.
it's
They're not actually.
so good. I love it.
Yeah, there's no indulgence in old-fashioned acting.
No,
and
but it was
sometimes
so good.
lovely.
There were beautiful pauses in this, but they were on purpose. Like there were reasons behind it with the camera shot and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, 12 Angry Men. It was nice. It was really good.
It is a remarkably good film.
Yeah.
Like, although you say it's clearly a play,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like in some plays to films that feels limiting. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel limiting.
No.
Instead, that room feels claustrophobic in the best possible way. Like you feel like you can smell those sweaty men.
Yeah.
Grinding it. Like,
And they're clearly sweating. Like this isn't someone coming in with a spray gun and just going, shh, okay, he's ready to go.
no, they've turned the heat up.
They've turned the heat up.
Yeah.
Their shirts are fucking wet from sweat in all the right parts.
Yeah.
You're like, Jesus, they really went out. And it was just good.
All right.
But yeah, that was my
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice. I haven't seen it, but good choice.
Cheers.
Oh, put it on your list, and not your Top Gun list. Your actual
An
list.
actual list?
Yeah, it is remarkable.
The list.
Yeah, I will definitely I'll definitely get on it.
You might be-
It's on Stan or something, isn't it?
Yeah. You won't be disappointed.
No fucking
Don't be
excuses.
disappointed.
I'll just talk briefly because I want to do a full episode of this at some point, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just had a rewatch of Donnie Darko.
Oh, director's cut? Or?
No, original.
Nice,
Original.
thank you.
You can-
Lovely.
You don't like the director's cut?
No, it. Sorry to jump in.
No,
Tys,
it's fine.
But
I feel like we're going to agree on at this.
It spoon feeds you.
Yeah, it makes it too linear.
It totally spoon feeds you. Fucking, you're an audience. You can think for yourself.
It is weird to do it in the reverse, don't you think? Like normally films don't do that. Like they complicate, they don't simplify. It's like
Yeah.
it's really strange to kind of add fumbly exposition to something.
Yeah. and the writing, all the writing.
Yeah, well,
Fuck
I mean,
off.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
you end up reading basically the chapters of
Her book?
Grandma Death's book
Yeah.
in the director's cut that you knew the book existed and that's all you got in the original one. I think the director's cut is worth watching once so that you can go,
absolutely.
oh, that's what he was intending,
Mm.
and then you just go back and watch the original because
Yeah.
the original's far stronger.
Way better.
Yeah, it's still
so
still
many good moments.
such a
in
great
Donnie
film.
Darko.
Like I fucking love it, and like I don't watch it as much anymore because I have that fear that I'm going to go back to it and not like it as much anymore because it is in the if I'm pushed on a day to name like a favorite film, it might be the one that I say.
Oh wow!
If someone's like gun to head, tell me your favorite movie
Gun
right now.
to head, really?
Like you've just got to, and you got to say one. It's like, well, fuck it, I'll say Donnie Darko because I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But I also don't have time to go to IMDb and scroll through
shit.
maybe this one, maybe that.
That's nice.
So I don't watch as much because I'm worried that it might not be as good anymore. But that it totally is. It's wonderful.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful all the way through.
All right. Well, that's me.
That was what did we watch this week, people?
It was. Why don't we move on to our feature presentation?
Sounds good.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right. Well, we, in the grand tradition of our special guests on Nick Tys and Videotape, the choice of film was handed over to our special guest this week.
Which I love, by the way. I really love that they get to pick the movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just be rude. I'd feel rude.
Well, and especially
getting them to talk about the movie that we pick.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
talk about this.
It's fucking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you love what I picked, though, gentlemen? That's the real
Well, why don't you
question.
tell us all what we picked?
So I picked one of my childhood favorites, one of my weeklies. Always, it was one of the the repeats. You'd always get a couple of new ones. I think you guys have talked about this. A couple of new ones and an old favorite.
Yeah, shit, yeah, man.
Well, Conan was my. Let's just repeat. So Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger, 1982.
Hell yeah.
What a film!
What a film.
Killer movie.
What a soundtrack.
Fuck, man. First thing I wrote down
Is how
the score
it's
is
phenomenal. Yeah.
like it's
So good.
fucking great, and it is. I don't have a huge amount of scores in my CD collection, but this is one of them.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got it like 2 years ago or so when I was just kind of doing a hunt where I was like, you know what, I'm suddenly finding that I really like listening to film scores. Because sometimes I just don't want to hear fucking people singing.
Yeah. No, I totally
So,
understand.
I switch off a little bit and I just want orchestral music. And then I went through a phase where I'd listen to like classical music and I was like, you know what? Why don't I fucking listen to movie scores? Because that makes so much more sense to me. Like it's classical music, but it's the movies
as well. You get the feeling.
Well, you get feelings in classical music.
Oh, you
but
do,
I
but-
get to associate them with the movies that I love as well.
Yeah.
And this was one of them because I fucking love this score.
So why did you pick this, Ben? Why Conan? What draws you to Conan?
So
even though it's a childhood film for clearly all of us.
So I mean,
But
obviously it's Arnie.
Yeah.
I think it's Arnie's first like big breakout role. Like this is where he gets a speaking part.
Yep.
Even though on his dialogue, I'm not going to get carried away. We'll talk about his dialogue in a minute, but I'll just say I picked it because fantasy's back. Like fantasy's a big thing. Blood and guts fantasy is Game of Thrones. It's back.
Yep.
But this is one of the few decent fantasy films. Like there really aren't many that are good.
Good ones, no.
Normally they fix what they any problems by just throwing money at crappy special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, not that this doesn't have its share of a few dodgy special effects in
Which
there,
is beautiful.
but it was kind of streamlined. It's really like tight is what I would say. So Arnie's dialogue. So I don't know. Like I've seen it a lot of times, so I've paid a lot of attention. But the dialogue between him and his love interest. Okay, so did you actually notice that he says two things to his love interest the whole film?
Yep.
He says it on their first meeting. He then never utters a single word to her ever again, even when she's dying. Those things are, "You are not a guard, no." And I kid you not, that is his dialogue. She talks at him. She's like the dominant member of the relationship. So she just talks at him, and he just literally looks at her. That's the film.
Because he's Conan.
And they have love scenes, and that's it. That's it. He says,
amazing. And do you know what? I buy their relationship. That's
You
amazing.
do, yeah.
It works.
You totally do. You really
totally
do buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So aside from like Arnie kind of making a grand statement to Hollywood that he's kind of arrived and he
is a
works his
superstar.
shit
He can
out.
hold his gear.
He's surrounded by an incredibly good movie. Like surprisingly good. Is it surprisingly good? I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, the director didn't really make anything else. Like Red Dawn.
He made some stuff in the 70s that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Like a Dillinger biopic or some shit, and
And a
and
surfing
Red
movie?
Dawn. Huh?
And a
Big
surfing
Wednesday,
Yeah, Big Wednesday.
which I have never seen because I don't give a fuck about surfing movies.
Me too.
Point Break, man. That's not
No,
really
that's
a surfing
that's
movie.
that's not
It's a
surfing.
bank robbing
Yeah,
movie.
that's not the same.
Yeah, totally.
And that Red Dawn, I only watched for the first time probably about a year ago.
Oh, right.
And it's
Any good?
It's
No?
okay.
Yeah, so.
But
I was a bit disappointed by it.
The thing is, I feel with Conan watching it this time, because I'm the same as you guys. I fucking love every single bit of this, even from the no dialogue to the just passable special effects.
Yeah.
But I feel
why are you guys paying out on these special effects?
No,
There's like just the big snake and him transforming into the snake. Other than that,
I like the transformation. We'll get to. Hang on, we'll get to that. But I feel that someone coming to Conan the Barbarian 1982 in 2017 fresh, I feel they're not going to feel what we're seeing. I feel that they're not going to see what we're seeing.
I don't know. It's still way better than that
you think so?
Momoa film.
Oh, fuck yeah.
No, it's way better.
I can watch that movie because there's parts of it I don't mind in the new one. I think Momoa was pretty good.
Yeah, he's great.
I think Stephen Lang is pretty good.
Yeah.
And Rose McGowan's fucking great in that. She's terrifying, but on the whole, it's not a great film.
Yeah, you're not gonna...
But I don't think, I think this whole resurgence of this is it like, should we just say it's the Game of Thrones influence? Then I guess there's been some other stuff that kind of spurred it on
Vikings
as well.
And all that stuff.
And 300 and that kind of springboarded a bit as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But those shows don't really. Like Game of Thrones is kind of slow moving. There's not a lot of special effects. It's violent as fuck, but there's not huge special effects moments in Games of Thrones. There's the dragons and shit, but
no, they save it up for like the last 2 episodes where they have a massive war or there's dragons the
massive wars. Like wars are wars.
But that's true. It's not. You don't get a lot of. There's not massive amounts of special effects all the way through the season.
So I don't think people who would pick this up and go, oh yeah, I'll watch an old sword and sorcery thing with. Arnie, I don't think people are going to think it's hokey and
it was a question.
I think they'll be okay.
You think they'll be okay?
Yeah, I think because it's
practical effects never date quite as badly as old CGI, do they?
Yeah, exactly,
that's
man.
True, yeah.
And the blood squib work in this is fucking great, man.
Yeah. The neck chops or even the bite.
So when he
at the start
when he kills, spoiler alert. When he kills Thulsa Doom, so. That's actually James Earl Jones wearing a plastic harness, and that's Arnie hitting him with something.
Fuck!
So it's not, I'm going to pull the bow. He fucking whacked.
He hits him.
Because him and James Earl Jones became friends.
Yeah.
So he kind of had permission to whack him. So they put him in this plastic kind of armored harness.
I still wouldn't want Arnie to whack. Have you seen how big Arnold fucking
And he whacks him hard, man. It makes a thud. A proper thud. It's clearly dubbed over, but you hear that fucking thud.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It is good. That's a brutal... it's really I love that it's the broken sword and it's this hacking away
it's not one clean hit. No, it's 3 hard
it's
hacks.
nasty. I love it.
Yeah, it's the noise the head makes when he throws the head onto the stairs.
And the fact that it is dead silent when it happens.
Fucking awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I just want to go. Can we go?
Let's go all the way
back to the start.
Yeah,
can we go to the start? Because that start, Conan as a kid. I just want to talk about the deaths of the parents.
Yep.
Starting off because it's Conan the Barbarian, you want it to be brutal with a name like Barbarian. You want it to be, his dad dies by fucking Rottweilers.
By dog, yeah.
Jesus, and it doesn't really pull its punches either. You don't see a lot. You don't see ripped flesh.
No, it's a great little moment because he's got his back to it, and the dog is in there, and you can tell that it's they just put some dog food next to his chest.
But he sells it.
Oh yeah, he sells it. Yeah, of course he does. That dad, by the way, that scene with the dad and him talking about the Riddle of Steel, it's fucking beautiful, man. It's really lovely. The performance from the dad, a guy called William Smith, who's just a kind of regular
Joe,
just pops up in a whole bunch of shit, but as police number 2 and just really small bit parts and a whole fucking ton of stuff. But his performance is really lovely, I think. And the kid playing Arnie is fucking selling it too.
Yeah.
He's a good looking replicant.
Oh, replicant for
replicant?
Arnie.
That's not the right word.
That's not the right word.
No. But good child version of Arnie.
Yeah, good casting.
I fucking love it. And do you know what's funny? We're watching, just to throw back to when we did Double Impact.
Yeah.
We're talking about the trace lines when they have to superimpose.
Oh, yeah.
That is clearly in front of reprojection or something.
A green screen, or something.
But It looks
I
fucking.
sold it.
It looks
yeah.
heaps
It looks
better.
fine.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was fucking 10 years earlier. That blows my mind that they couldn't have figured that shit out.
Come on.
We can have fucking Arnie and his dad sitting in, the wilderness and the sky, but we can't have two Van Dams.
No.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, the world doesn't need two Van Dams.
Oh, if only there were two Van Dams.
If only. If only.
Actually, that'd be pretty decent if there were two. If Van Damme was an actual twin.
So
Like, seriously.
we have brutal deaths.
Brutal deaths.
Parents go. I mean, mum gets decapitated.
Oh, we have to talk about the mum because that was it. It happened so well. Like they clearly thought you could see the storyboarding of that.
Yeah.
Like the Thulsa Doom kind of faking her out. Like kind of going towards her and then just turning.
Well, that's meant to be his magic eyes. So part of his power is like that he's hypnotic, like a snake hypnotizes its prey. So that's him like putting her into a state of I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
You'll be fine, and then
shit's done. Yeah.
And it's so for me, less is more, and this is with violence especially. It's more violent if you don't see it, and the fact that all you see is her head. Her mop of hair just drop, and Conan lose her arm. Like
it's a really beautiful moment, and the kid doing the acting is really excellent.
Spot on.
At that point.
He doesn't cry. He doesn't scream.
No,
He's
it's
just
the way he reacts to her not holding his hand anymore because he's so fixed on Thulsa Doom's eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that about the snake. That's decent.
Yeah, that was really awesome. And back to what you were saying before about how storyboarded it felt, and that's a really nice way of putting it because it's obviously. Because it's so not reliant on dialogue, this film. Like there are moments where you suddenly kind of realize, oh, okay, we're back into normal movie mode. Like the whole scene with Max von Sydow when he's the king.
Yeah,
that probably is the busiest dialogue scene in the film, I reckon, because there's a legitimate conversation happening, and that's very rare in this movie. Like. So that whole opening sequence, really with zero dialogue.
It's 20 minutes before Arnie says anything.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And then he starts with, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. I mean...
Which is, it's a perfect example of...
It's a Genghis Khan quote.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
apparently there's quite a bit of this is kind of... the character
Genghis.
was based kind of on Genghis Khan mythology and stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, totally.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like obviously it was he wanted to tell the story visually more than by dialogue. Like I think it feels like if he had the choice, it would almost be a silent film.
Yeah.
Like especially that opening. Like if that was a silent short film, we're getting every piece of information we need though, and really effectively. Like it's incredibly
and in a movie
descriptive.
In a movie that's it's 2 hours long or 2 and a bit hours long.
This is a long fucking movie,
but you don't need it. You don't need that dialogue.
No,
those scenes work. Like a lot of this movie works without dialogue.
It's long, but it feels kind of tight, doesn't it? Like, was there anything you'd take out?
Yeah,
I would have taken out the hippie section, the priests.
What, like him trying to smuggle himself in?
Yeah,
but how?
Just cut it a bit. It didn't need the.
It didn't need him trying to crack up
with the priest.
With the priest,
how good was the overtone there?
He was great.
Excuse me, can I talk to you in the bushes over there where no one can see us?
Yeah.
Oh, why are you ashamed of your body?
Oh, Jesus. That was awesome.
Yeah, hang on. So there was a point I wanted to make before that, but then I want to talk about some of that funny shit like that. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about
I think if anything, it feels a bit like it repeats itself when they go in to steal the gem and then they go in again to get the daughter.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like one of those sequences could have been sped up a little bit because I remember in my head, because I hadn't actually seen it for a little while. I bought the Blu-ray about 6 months ago and didn't get a chance to watch it until now. And this is probably the first time I watched it in probably 10 years, I'd say.
Nice.
Used to watch it like a fucking amazing
repeat.
amount when I was a kid, but not for ages. I always thought that the crucifixion was after Valeria.
Yeah.
I thought that was after Valeria died, and
right.
I just got all my events
jumbled,
confused in my head,
right.
And so when I was watching it this time, and they were in with the gem, and I was like, "Hang on, isn't this the bit? Where's the orgy and stuff?" Like, so I was getting like, and I remember thinking, "Oh fuck, we haven't even done." Okay, so and then that took half an hour to get to the next siege, I guess.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, that probably, it might just be my memory of it forcing me to speed it up. But for a movie that is 2 hours and 6 minutes, I think it has some pacing problems. But, if you're happy spending time in this world,
man.
like fucking just sit and enjoy it, which I do.
The only thing you could kind of get rid of is... I wouldn't get rid of it because one of my favourite bits is the random witch at the start.
Oh, no, I love the witch.
That he fucks and then she turns into fire and...
the witch is great.
So that's like, so it has this kind of Greek thing going on that the gods directly interfere with what's going on. So that's like, that's him having sex with Crom.
Oh,
like that's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
that's awesome.
Well, this is funny because I was listening.
Sorry,
I was listening to something else about some guys talking about Conan.
Yeah.
And one of them had the idea that how after she flies away as the spirit, and he goes and he says, Crumb. He had the idea that maybe he addresses Crumb the same way we say, Jesus.
Yeah, well, that's what when I was a kid, that's always thought that I thought crumb was a swear word. I thought crumb, seeing it as a kid, I thought it was the Conan swear word. Crumb.
Because he never says it again, though. I just always assumed.
Yeah.
That
I'm the same. I assumed that he thinks it's Crumb influencing his decision.
Now I say it like that.
But it could. But hearing that guy say it could be like just an exclamation of what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of funny because there could be a part of that because she's bonkers, man. I love
her. She's fucking awesome.
I love how she invites him in, and we have a quick wipe cut to her crawling on her hands and knees, and he's sitting there with a drink yeah, all right. What are you going to do? What the fuck's this is getting a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love he's just blanket kind of yeah, I'm right. I'm on board for this. Whatever
you got.
Whatever goes down here. I'm pretty cool with it.
Exactly.
I love it. It's such a fucking bizarre scene. I remember as a kid that was like my don't come in now, Dad, don't come in now. Don't come in now scene.
It was watching it as kids as we did. This is pretty adult for a kids movie.
It's pretty racy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There's
super
an orgy
racy.
in this fucking movie.
Well,
and they're cannibals.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't. There's hands and shit in that
soup.
It's pea and hand soup.
Yeah.
In the special features, when you have the commentary on, they refer to it as pea and hand soup.
That's hilarious.
That's very fucking.
Because I always remember seeing a hand, and the chick comes up and she bites a finger,
eating it.
eating the hand.
And then when he pours it, so we're mixing up all kinds of shit. But this is my. I think that's my goosebumps moment is when the score kicks into the dun 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 dun, and he goes to lift the drum. There's a head sitting in there that just rolls out. I'm like, fucking hell, man. This is just human stew that they're chowing down on.
Totally.
So the orgy was one of those things that as a kid I don't think I put two and two together. I thought it was just general debauchery. And if you actually look at it, no one's naked.
No.
There's some topless girls, but no one's thrusting. It's not like
I feel like everyone is drugged. If anything,
it feels like that everyone's just really fucked up, and then you're just kind of having a nap after.
We've clearly
a rave.
missed the actual
the
orgy
part. But growing up in a world where we've all seen fucking Game of Thrones episodes, it's nothing, man. It's tame as shit.
Yeah, it's very tame.
But yeah, as a kid, didn't have a.
Do you know what I liked? I just have to point this out, and I don't want to turn it into I love this bit, but that start scene where he's just been freed. Not to take it all the way back to the start. He's just been freed. He's running from the dogs, and he falls into that cave where he finds the sword.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful and eerie scene. The fact that when he takes the sword,
it falls.
It falls, and it kind of
does a weird POV moment where
and it's kind of like
it's like a Sam Raimi shot almost. It kind of creeps up into him.
Yeah, or almost that clearly it's a king of some sort because he's on a throne.
Yeah.
Or almost giving it to him.
Okay. So the crown's falling at his feet?
Feeling at his feet, and he bows. The skeleton bows its head, and now it's your turn.
So that sword was the sword of. It's a special sword, isn't it?
I don't know.
Is it Crumb's sword?
So. He says I think he has another Crumb moment in the tomb, doesn't he? So it's I'll take this, thanks, Crumb.
Yeah.
Crumb. And then it's the one that obviously that smashes his dad's sword. So that's what's so satisfying.
Exactly.
It's he one-ups his dad.
And I just love how it's been sitting there for maybe decades.
Yeah.
And all he does is cling, 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 and it's brand new. And I'm like, yeah, man.
No, I love that. I love that the sword itself is so pristine.
Yeah. And then he just comes out and just
the years
off
of
the
weathering
chains. Yeah.
that has turned everything else to shit just puts a coating on this sword because that sword is fucking the shit.
How good is it?
Yeah, I love
I
it.
fucking love it.
I love it.
I love the fact that when they're in the city on their little binge, they get offered the drug. And in any other film, they'd be like, no, thanks. They're like, oh, you better not sell us shit drugs.
Yeah.
And then they get fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that.
And
Like,
then punch a camel.
Okay, so here's a bit, and I don't know if this is. Did you guys watch this on Blu-ray?
yes.
No.
Okay, so I'm noticing stuff that I'd never noticed before, and I'm not
damn
certain
it.
if it's
Go
on this.
on.
Do you know what I'm about to say about this bit?
No, lay
So
on
just
me.
before he punches the llama or whatever,
They're all sluts.
he goes,
Yeah.
just after that,
Yeah.
right? He looks back around a corner, like it's all part of the one shot as they
Yeah.
come down the stairs, and he goes, look at this, and there's a dude fucking a camel.
Yeah, there's a dude fucking a camel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's someone having sex with an animal.
Oh,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, now
And
I
they
have
laugh.
to buy the Blu-ray. Are you serious?
They're laughing at it like, this guy.
I always got the impression that's why they're so pissed off that he punches the camel. It's like that
Really?
camel's next in line. Isn't
No, I thought he was drunk, like drugged, and went, and then kind
it?
of...
No, that's why he punches it, because he
Yeah.
gets startled. But then all the people just stop and start staring at them like, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Yeah, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is our camel brothel.
Yeah.
What? Camel brothel?
Yeah,
What the
shit's fucked
fuck?
up.
This film has some weird undertones. So it was originally
Yeah.
written by Oliver Stone, yeah?
Yeah, I
And
will...
he wanted it to be a lot stranger
Racier,
than it actually
right.
was. He wanted mutants in it, and he wanted $150 million budget
Yeah,
or some
I
crazy
read
shit.
that,
And he was a pretty weird dude at that point. I mean, he
Yeah.
hadn't been back from Vietnam for that long, had he? It's,
Oh, this is like peak Oliver Stone.
Yeah, man.
Like fucking
Got
Coke
some good
binge.
stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, actually, it was probably a couple of years earlier than the Coke binge, but
He was mid-coke binge.
I think he's been.
It was
on-
the 80s,
Yeah, I think he's been
82,
fucked
come
up.
on.
Yeah.
And he would have written it, in 1 week or 3 days.
Yeah, it would have been like a 74-hour.
Yeah.
Like
Bang,
bender,
I've got Conan.
Coke and fucking booze, and he just would have been.
Man,
Chugging
is
them
anyone
both.
doing that anymore? No one does that anymore.
Oliver Stone's probably still doing it, dude.
No, he's gone clean,
settled
man. That's
down,
why his
he's
movies
clean.
suck.
Yeah.
man.
Is that why he made World Trade Center?
No,
Yeah.
and W. Yeah.
It's a mixture of all those
He
things.
made W?
Yeah, you remember
Yeah,
W?
that was him.
Unfortunately, I do vaguely remember W.
I haven't seen it, and I would still see it, to be
No, I
honest.
don't.
It's Oliver Stone. I'm not going to watch World Trade Center, though.
So yeah, I think there are still semblances of Oliver Stone stuff, I guess, but that's
They
that's
would
conjecture.
have.
I don't really
Yeah,
know.
The director rewrote a lot. Well, I read the IMDb trivia for this is fucking pages long.
Yeah,
It's
right.
dense, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's fucking long.
Well, on the like the special features and stuff, they talk about the original script and then the rewrites and the fact that because Robert E. Howard, who wrote the books, was a pretty dark kind of dude. That they like Oliver Stone was actually kind of more of a fan of the original stuff, so he wanted it to be really dark. So your idea that the dark, weird shit is Oliver Stone, that kind of makes sense to me because he was into that whole. This is an author that had a weird life and committed suicide.
Yeah.
And, this is kind of a reflection of, like, some strange kind of desires by the author. Do you know what I mean? And
Sure.
that Conan is like man unchained. Hence, I guess, the weird Nietzsche quote, the kind of
At the
half
start,
Nietzsche
yeah.
quote. It kind of seems like they've edited that quote slightly. And then, maybe it's just been cleaned up heaps by Milius. So, I mean, because he is more of a script writer than a director, yeah. So we said that he directed some other poor films, but he did write some pretty good scripts.
He's written a bunch of stuff, yeah.
Didn't he write Apocalypse Now or work on Apocalypse
Yeah,
Now?
he wrote
on it,
Apocalypse
yeah.
Now.
Which also has long periods of silence.
If it works, I'm totally for it. Can I ask a question?
Oh, mate, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So this has one of the best age transformations, apart from The Lion King. Just gods can't
It
wait
is a very
to
Hakuna
be king. Yeah, it's
Hakuna
very. It's
Matata.
yeah.
Hakuna
But
Matata.
that. Can I ask a question from the man who picked this movie?
We went from Dark Conan to Tuna Matata in like 30 fucking seconds.
Fuck yeah, and that's what we do here on Nick Tyson Videotape. Ben, what does the crank do? What does that mystery
wrote
crank
this down.
fucking do?
I just assumed it's literally just to keep the slaves moving while they're
Really?
being sold.
Do you reckon it's a torture?
It's a
Yeah, it
torture
has
thing.
no
Oh, I
purpose.
didn't think they got sold. I thought they died. I thought he was the only one that survived.
No, they got sold
to
off.
push the thing around.
I thought it was a little column A, little column B, like the good
alright.
ones. Like it separates the the wheat from the chaff.
But if you've got fucking slaves, you use them, man. Shit. Especially if one of your slaves is Arnold motherfucking Schwarzenegger.
But then why would it take so long for Arnold to be bored? Because you'd be looking at him like, yeah, he's good stock.
yeah, Look, maybe they all just do die. It's like survival of the fittest. It's like, this is a good way of weeding out good slaves. The last one standing gets sold. But he's meant to be on the wheel for like 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think the wheel has to do something. I don't think it can be a wheel for no purpose.
I love that it's a mystery wheel.
It's drilling
I love
for
that
oil
we
or
don't.
something?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that we don't know
Daniel
what it
Plainview
does.
style.
Yeah.
Daniel Plainview would have that. He would absolutely have.
You have Conan turning the wheel.
Yeah.
I've drunk up all your milkshake.
Yeah, no, it has to do something. I think it just doesn't matter what it does. I think that's the point.
Think so?
And you know what? Sometimes I fucking respect someone who just goes, you know what? It doesn't matter what it does. So I'm not going to waste
that's what I
screen
like.
time saying, oh, make sure you push hard so we get much green. Like, it doesn't matter.
We don't need to know. I love that.
You could probably take Mako's narration out of the film completely. Yeah.
I think so. I don't mind it because I like Mako quite a lot.
He's got a great
So do I love him. Yeah,
Yeah, but you're right. It's unnecessary.
No, you don't need it.
I like the one at the end when that great image of Arnie with the fucking beard. And,
Yeah.
like I
Old
love
Conan.
that. Yeah.
King Conan is still a rumor. Yeah, like this could.
Yeah, it still
but
could still think. It could still happen.
He talks about it positively, and then people go, "Yeah, look, it's probably not going to happen." And then he says something else. But I think the last thing he said was, "It's not looking good," which was a shame.
Yeah. But do you know what I love about Mako? One of Mako's narrations is the start. Let me tell you of high adventure. Bum, 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 bum. I'm like, I am fucking in already.
It gets you in the mood.
How good is that start?
Yeah, it does.
High adventure.
That soundtrack.
Oh,
It gets you
fuck, that was
fired
good,
right
man.
up. What do we think of? Let's talk some characters. 'Cause
Okay.
I think we've circled around some bits that we like and
We've done
back
some
and
gold.
forth.
We've done some gold.
What do we think of Mako as the shaman, I guess, or whatever the wizard? What does he call himself? A sorcerer or something?
No, he's a wizard. He says,
wizard?
I am a wizard, you know.
He's kind of comic relief, really. Yeah.
He is, yeah.
little
Especially when
bit.
he falls off the horse and can't get up. That's my brother's favourite bit.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
great
'cause-
bit.
yeah. I mean, but, I don't use him for comic relief because I don't think I laugh out loud at any point in this film.
No, because Conan does his own comic. He punches a fucking camel for it.
Yeah, but Mako provides a good element that's kind of missing, I think, from this movie
Go on.
is the reasoning to some of it. Well, I like that we're thrown in a world where it's just kind of like, hey, you know what? Magic shit happens. You know, witches turn into weird bits of lightning. Dudes can be snakes. And Mako provides a little bit of kind of grounding to that kind of stuff, which I think is useful. Not to the point where he sits down and explains it as like midichlorians, but there's just a little bit there that you can latch onto a little bit, which I think is useful.
Fair deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that he lives like the whole stories of him living in the wind and no fire burns over there and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what I fucking love about this movie is the way they talk about the gods? Like they actually have really
yeah.
not deep,
The
like
four
deep's a
winds and-
bit much, but they have kind of worthwhile conversations about it. That's some of the only big conversations in this movie. Like I love the one between Arnie and Subutai about the Crum laughed at your four winds and stuff.
yeah.
Like that's great. Like it's really good stuff.
King of his mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love it. What do you think about Subutai?
Is it true that all his dialogue was like he's
Dubbed?
actually
I heard it was overdubbed,
Jerry
yeah.
Lopez. So he's a surfer.
Oh,
So I'm
really?
pretty sure he knows John Milius from Big Wednesday.
Oh, right.
Oh, really?
So is it everything dubbed over?
Apparently so.
Oh, really?
I didn't notice when watching it. It didn't feel ADR'd. But
No.
movies from that era are hard to pick because sometimes the sound is so kind of interesting anyway that it's
Yeah.
like you could tell me a bit of dialogue's ADR'd or not, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, fair
Sure.
deal.
But yeah, that's a shame. I would like to hear what his normal voice is like.
Yeah.
Because I think he gives a good performance.
Does pretty
But
well.
then again, I don't know if that's maybe he sounded like
Maybe he sounded like David Prowse as Darth Vader. Have you ever heard that?
yeah, it's weird. It's so
You're
weird.
part of a rebel alliance.
I have heard that. That
Who
is
knows?
good.
He could be rubbish, but I like his presence. I like that it's
I like
not.
how his introduction. Food.
Yeah.
Give me food.
Oh, well, I just like that he's not like. I mean, he's obviously the kind of the opposite of Arnie, but he can hold his own. Like we're not introduced to this like dumb Rob Schneider-esque sidekick character, where the whole movie is like, oh, he's falling over shit, and he accidentally hurt. Like he's fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Like give him a bow and arrow and a sword, he'll fucking look after himself.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I dig that a lot.
And
Absolutely.
the same with Valeria, because you kind of think that she's like when they finally grab the princess and run off, she's kind of left alone.
Oh, yeah.
And while we're watching it, Sam was like, "Oh, what the fuck? They just leave her?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure she can take care of herself."
Yeah,
and she takes on 3 dudes, like, and fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, and no fucking worry.
No worry.
I love
Both
how
times.
she grabs the sword and she's
both
like,
times.
she does the little tap,
The
like
tap,
all right, who wants it first?
Bring it on. Yeah.
I kind of half thought that was a moment where the bad guys did like the drop and ran away.
Yeah. No way.
No,
Not in this
they
movie.
got cut the fuck up.
This isn't a comedy.
She does that cool jump cut. Apparently,
Yeah.
she nearly cuts her finger off in that scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ah.
like she got really badly hurt in that bit. And,
when she taps the sword.
and yeah, she nearly severs her finger or something.
Okay.
But she never gets like rescued by any of them.
No.
She literally holds her own.
Yeah.
She kills as many goons as anybody.
Yeah.
She kind of is the one that makes most of the decisions most of the time. The only decision she's not involved in ends really badly for Conan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like she says, "Don't do this." He does it, and shit goes terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Every other thing that she's kind of involved in, she does a better job than them.
Yeah,
She
it's
brings
really
the rope. She plans the robbery. It's just a bad luck.
She tells them where to go. She goes, "I'm going to take this floor. You guys go down."
Yep. She
Yeah.
just gets copped by the seeking snake, unfortunately.
Yeah, what a way to go.
How fucking good is that?
It's just, do you know what it is? It's just an element that didn't need to be there, but the movie is so much better that it is there. The fact that he can grab a snake, run it through his hand, and shoot it like an arrow.
Exactly.
He does.
Seek.
It's great. It's fucking like that.
And I
That
love
kind of
that-
shit is just it makes it next level.
I love that the arrow has like a noise too that and kind of smacks her in the back. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
It's the snake screaming.
It was awesome. It was fucking
Right.
awesome. And it happens again when he aims one at the princess and he grabs at the shield. And
Yeah, that's a good moment.
Gold.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Beautiful.
So does he only have like one snake on him? Is that
He must only have one snake on him.
just can't?
And I love that. I know we talked about this before, but the fact that he can turn into a snake, even it's not mentioned before. It's not like he has snake. Well, he has snake powers with the arrow, and he can whisper to snakes, but it's not talked about.
I don't think it's even like mentioned as like I hear he has snake powers. Or
like
anything.
at the end of the movie,
Does
I thought,
anyone
well,
say
clearly the boss battle is either him steel to steel, or it's Conan versus a fuck off snake.
Yeah.
Like,
But they already did Conan versus a giant
exactly.
snake.
And Conan won.
And Conan won.
Conan, yeah.
Oh, it was fucking
Comfortably. He cuts the head off that
Cuts
fucking
When he
thing.
throws him the
Fucking
sword,
legs it.
it's one hit, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty
Oh,
solid.
it's so good.
Back to Valeria.
Yeah.
Like maybe my favorite character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I reckon.
Better than Conan.
Well, Conan's like it's Conan's movie,
Yeah.
but like she kind of gives it depth,
She does.
like heaps.
Well, all the things that Ben said before, like she's the one kind of driving the movie. if
It
anything.
it's actually kind of it's relatively progressive at that time to have a female
Oh, yeah,
character be
massive.
that accomplished, like to the point where she's
Strong.
She's
She
not
is
just
not
holding
a
her
damsel
own.
in distress
She is
at all.
She is like equal, if not more skilled than the two of them.
Yeah.
But it's moments of depth that come from her that make the relationship believable.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's moments of depth from her that make the tragedy of it a little bit more believable. Like the way that she says that she'll pay the cost to bring back Conan, stuff like that. That makes that moment far more like, and even when he does everyone knows what we're fucking talking about because you wouldn't watch this. Everyone's seen this, obviously. You wouldn't be listening. But the way they have to bring him back after his crucifixion.
Fights off the demons.
Yeah,
and
they
whatever.
fight off the demons. There's still that underlying feeling of, but something's going to have to happen because she made the
Yeah, man.
bargain
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I just think that her being in this film is that little bit of extra spark that I think makes it a miles better film.
Yeah.
Just
I totally agree.
just the fact that she's in it, and she has some beautiful dialogue as well. Like I really love the when she talks about the stuff where she's faced death so many times, but there's never been anyone there to see it, and now that there is,
Oh yeah, well the why are we together sort of thing. Like
it's
I have a
beautiful stuff.
reason for living almost.
which is essentially now I'm happy and I have a
reason for yeah.
which is great. It's good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Her death scene is actually quite touching. It's
Yeah.
like she has let me breathe my last breath into you.
Into you. Yeah, that's full on.
Yeah, that
was good. One of my favorites, just to bring it back, one of my favorite shots. I am turning it into that. But once they have the riches montage,
Yeah, like his head into the porridge. Is that
how good is that? Just that one shot
the
of
good
them
life.
absolutely just.
Yeah.
This is what happens. Like Sam said to me, "What happens now? Why are they sitting like that?" I'm like, they've just partied for like a week. This is the come down. This is know.
Well, I like the fact that she literally talks him out of doing anything, and he doesn't put up any argument. He just leaves.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah. He's a barbarian.
I know, but he's kind of like a jerk.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really deserve it. That's why she's such a good character to bring it back and maybe why she's your favorite because he doesn't really deserve it. Do you know what I mean? It's like he doesn't really ever do anything that great for her. It's like she is kind of the heroic character.
Yeah, and it makes he's better by her loving him makes him better.
Yeah.
Like makes us as a viewer go.
He has a point.
He is more noble. He is, and it is one of those kind of films where the nobility kind of arrives as the film goes on. Like he becomes a better character, a more noble character as the film goes on. Yeah. How good?
Go on.
Do you know? Like my most lovely moment in this film, which is very strange for a film called Conan the Barbarian.
Lovely.
Like lovely and genuinely like that is so fucking sweet and beautiful.
Go on.
Was when I can't say his name. What was his name? Jerry Lopez?
Super Thai.
Thank you. Conan won't cry, so I cry for him.
That's beautiful.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, man. He's Conan. He doesn't cry.
I'm like, that is fucking, that's the shit, man. That's the kind of shit that makes grown men kind of go, yeah, man. Yep. I love you. Fucking. That's all right. Yep. It was beautiful. And it separates this movie because, you tell people like, what's a great Arnie movie? And this could be one of his best.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Well, that's what I wrote down is this is, if not the best, perfect casting.
Oh, yeah,
Can you cast any other person right now as Conan? Did Momoa come up to that standard? Did he meet?
I think
this
Momoa
movie?
would actually be better now. I don't think he was right
back then.
5 or 6 years ago.
I don't remember.
He's better now. You watch him like in the trailer for that thing we watched last week.
Yeah, and he looks,
he's fucking he looks huge. Like he is
brutal
just
and
yeah. I think so. I think he's closer to where he's meant to be now. He looked a little too nice and clean cut then.
Okay. Okay. Because this Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, he is Conan. Even if you, let's say these movies weren't made, but Arnold Schwarzenegger still existed.
If they were going to do a King Conan,
if you saw the comic, you'd be like, well, it's Conan.
If they were going to, if out of nowhere they were going to jump straight to the old man version of Conan, then your first and only choice would be Schwarzenegger.
Which, to be honest, they've done Old Man Logan. You telling me you can't do King Conan?
I don't want to see half of the shit that he's coming out with, Schwarzenegger. Like, yet we can't fucking get the one movie that everyone is clamoring for.
You know what? When he became the governor and the film career ended, I was like, oh, what a shame. I really, really love Arnie films. I don't think I've seen a single one of his comeback films.
I have.
I've seen too many. Then
any of them good? Maggie, the weird zombie film?
Haven't seen that.
I liked Maggie,
Okay.
and I actually I know the writer is Australian.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't want Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, of course.
Which is fair enough, but he was okay with how it came out. I mean, he got his film made.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's fucking hard enough as it is.
Exactly.
What
else? It started with Last Stand. It went to
Fine. That was fine.
That was all right.
It was bonkers though. It was really fucking weird. It was it was not an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It was like it was a weird
it was like
experimental action movie with all these.
What's the Rock's movie where he carries the 2x4?
Walking
Tall. It's exactly the same as that. Exactly the fucking same.
I saw the one with. Is it the one with Sly? Where they're
Stallone,
in the
yeah.
Escape Plan.
Plan.
I actually quite like that.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that.
Right.
Yeah. I saw Sabotage.
Sabotage is
it's
just the ugliest movie.
I didn't actually mind it.
No, but it's not. You've got to be in the right frame of mind. But it is one of those movies where it's just like we're going to be so fucking hardcore, man.
Exactly.
And it just in some ways it kind of just you feel disgusting at the end. It was David Ayer who Suicide Squad and Training Day and
who's now signed on for
Fury, yeah?
Yeah. But he's got a terrible habit of I feel like he's a real like
I'm not paying him.
Douche bro.
Yeah.
Like I get that vibe from him.
Yeah.
And his movies kind of lend
what
to
is
that.
he?
What do you mean to do? What's a douche, bro?
Like, yeah, man. What's up?
It's
fucking,
a
fucking smash some cans, man. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh wow.
You know, those kind of guys.
So okay, what if you can hear me over Nick? Okay. What gives you that idea? Like, I've seen.
I feel like his movies have a really weird kind of glamorous take on
violence,
unhealthy masculinity.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, Fury is an odd film.
I think Fury, you can get away with shit like Fury because it's a period piece,
but it was okay.
But it's the contemporary stuff.
What is he signed on for? There's something new that he's doing.
Gotham City Sirens.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Fuck off!
I haven't seen Suicide Squad, and I have no intention. As soon as I heard it was a film about supervillains that was a I was done.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Move on with your life.
Yeah. Seriously. But apart from that, we don't count Expendables 3 because
you
that's
don't count the Expendables movies.
Collaboration. Then he did the next Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then one that I'm looking forward to is Aftermath.
No, I'm not looking forward to
Not looking forward to it?
No, it looks really bizarre. It's like...
Is that the one where he goes after the person, the air traffic controller because his daughter dies in a plane crash?
Yeah.
Haven't we seen that film? What was that film where his family gets blown up? Yeah, I mean, this is the same fucking film, isn't it?
Yeah, except he was a fireman in that one.
I hated
so
Collateral
it's totally
Damage.
different.
Do you know why I hated Collateral Damage? If you would just chronologically look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's career, at that point, he had fought off a female Terminator. He then fought the devil, and then he fought himself, and then he became a fireman.
Do you reckon it was maybe a step in the wrong direction?
Yeah, I was like, "What? Are you serious? The man's just killed the devil, and then he killed himself." Come on.
Wasn't it him trying to show versatility? He doesn't handle a gun in that film. So
Collateral Damage.
Yeah, apparently.
No. I don't know. It got fucking shat on because it was
how good was Sixth
I think
Day,
there was a bombing or something around the time that it was going to be released, and so they had to delay it for ages, and it never worked out. Might be one of the last ones he made before he became governor.
It was literally the last one before governor. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, what else do we want to talk about in this movie? I feel like we've barely scratched the surface, but at the same time, we've also talked for nearly an hour.
We have.
So,
do you want to bring up some homoerotic priests?
Do I want to bring that up?
Is that really going to cover the film? Is that just going to be another favourite scene there, Nick?
Good point, Ben. Good point.
All right. Let's
move on.
Yeah. We get a Sven sighting, which is always exciting. We get Sven.
Golden.
Is Sven part of the... Is he one of the sightings, is he?
Well,
I've heard other sightings in the podcast.
Our funny runs. Were there any weird runs in this? No, there were no weird runs. We haven't had a weird run for a while.
We're going to bring that up.
I've got a weird run for you.
Do you?
Okay, so any Steven Seagal film. Next time you feature a Steven Seagal film,
I didn't know about
watch Steven Seagal run. It is...
So when we do our Steven Seagal episode, whatever that is...
Nico above the law.
We are... under siege.
Okay.
Let's do one of the shit ones.
You want to do one of the... Let's do one of the shit ones.
No,
if we're going to do
we're
going to do him at least... Oh, Jesus.
First you see a glimmer, then you're dead.
If we're going to do something, let's do something well. No? Yes?
No. I don't mean one of the shit ones as in like Glimmer Man. I mean like...
fine. Under Siege 2.
One of the early ones because Under Siege was
Nico.
like his big kind of... This was...
That was the
giving
breakout.
him a big budget. Let's go back and do Nico. Let's do Mark for
deal.
Death or
fair deal.
Hard to Kill or
but
one of those ones.
When we do that, Ben showed me a clip of him running. And oh my God, I've never laughed so hard.
Arms.
No shit.
Like literally.
I fucking love that.
It's almost like this.
It makes me laugh so much.
Yeah,
I love bad.
It's
running.
weird.
No, but we get Sven Olsen from basically every Arnold Schwarzenegger film. If there's a heavy ever involved, it's usually his buddy Sven.
I'm in.
Who is basically kept off the streets.
Yeah, man.
You also get Franco Columbo in this, who's one of his weightlifting friends. So at the very beginning, when Thulsa Doom's like horde are coming at the village, the like Pictish scout, who's the dude on the rock that Arnie sees as a kid, that's also one of his close friends. So all of his friends like came along for his first big break.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. I love it how he's just like,
As if you wouldn't.
Can I get
if
this guy
I made
in
a
the movie?
film, as if you two wouldn't be in it.
Yeah, well, we'll find a way.
Yeah.
I'd demand some kind of fucking...
I always wanted to do a zombie movie, direct a zombie movie, and have all my friends be the zombies.
Good call.
That'd be decent.
That's a great one.
How good would that
He
be?
also apparently started demanding that his characters would always smoke cigars because he likes smoking cigars, which I think is just like, what a winner. Like, this is a man who could afford an endless stream of cigars, but he wants to smoke them while he's working.
Yeah, it's not enough that I get to have a couple, in between takes.
Yeah, no. Come on.
I'm not getting my cigar intake enough.
Yeah.
I actually need to do it while filming.
From a man that's had he doesn't have it anymore, but his first house when he made, I think it was Terminator 1, he had Schwarzenegger written in gold in his driveway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, literal gold.
And then, like, the world is yours somewhere inside the house?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why did he bring the princess along when he killed Thulsa Doom? Why did she come along?
Does she lead him?
Does she lead him to it?
She gets him into the...
Right.
Did
I miss that?
Well, this is the way I figured it was, that because you see a guard see her and go, oh yeah, it's cool, it's just her.
Oh, okay.
And then he kills it.
Okay.
He kills the guard. So I assumed it was just because, to get him close enough.
He kills all the guards with Dad's broken sword.
Yeah, man.
Like, I mean, this is the vengeance fulfillment
Yeah.
fantasy. Like,
I wish you saw a little bit more of that rather than the death of the two henchmen, like the big battle between the two henchmen.
Yeah, it's not really your great boss battle, but I think, and this kind of goes to something else that we can talk about now, actually, is that, was James Earl Jones the right choice? Because he's not physically able to be a match. Do you know what I mean? We don't get we can't have like a battle, really.
Yeah.
So by the time the finale comes around, it's a foregone conclusion. We know what's going to happen because Arnie will physically overpower him.
Yeah.
And yes, there's that moment where we think maybe he's going to be able to do his hypnotism trick on him. But really, like, deep down, we know that there's not going to be any kind of physical face-off.
Yeah.
So is it the right casting choice? Because he's fucking great. Like, don't get me wrong, it's James Earl Jones. The guy could act his
face
pants off anybody.
Yeah.
But we don't, he's not fit.
No.
He looks really weird with the long black wig.
It's weird.
it is
It
weird.
is a weird wig.
I like it.
Yeah. Do you really? The only thing I think that the reason that he has it is because of the snake bit.
So that they can leave the wig hanging in midair and put a little snake puppet
Do you know what I mean?
through there.
I think it's to frame his face for all the close-ups.
Oh, really?
So that's why he has the chopped off fringe. as well.
Fringe,
It literally frames his, like, contrasts his face in black.
Yeah.
And it kind of almost looks a bit like an Egyptian-y, snaky headdress.
That's true.
And-
especially with the priest's robes hanging.
I
feel it.
I really like him as the villain, and I like the fact he's not a physical baddie. I like the fact that he's eyes and a voice.
Yeah.
And he has the heavy guys to do the dumb shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, once they're all out of the way, the only barrier Arnie has left, or Conan has left, is to face down and see if his will is strong enough.
Yeah.
And it kind of tests everything that Conan's, because Conan's not meant to be just muscles and a sword. I mean, he is muscles and a sword, but they talk about how he's tutored with all the finest knowledge. So it's like, it's the final test has to be more than just, can you face off against a physical...
Yeah.
So the stuff
he's
about
done
the knowledge and all that, I feel like that's where Arnie
Past. It's a bit passed over, or he doesn't sell it.
No, he doesn't sell it because he's not the kind of guy that can convincingly portray that this is a man that is, that has read the finest poetry. And
but you do get the feeling that there isn't going to be a physical ending because of how Thulsa Doom's. He's over the riddle of the steel.
Yeah,
he's above. He feels he's above it.
That scene is kick-ass, and having someone like James Earl Jones doing that,
it's only gonna
just fucking sells it like crazy. I love that scene.
Yeah,
and this is another thing where this movie is not the dumb fucking action film that I think a lot of people think it is. Just even that scene alone, like there's some heavy themes, man.
Neat. Yeah,
real heavy shit going on, and I love that. Like,
it's a cult, a full cult.
Yeah, but even just like the way that, like, he basically just kind of fucking blows Arnie's mind with that stuff when he talks about how it's not about the steel, it's about the flesh, and it's about that. And Arnie's like, fuck, man, my whole life I've been about the steel. And it's like this weird kind of like, he really like, it's not just a physical beatdown he gives him, it's a full mental beatdown as well. And I love that. Like it's fucking, it makes it such a better movie. And I love that he just goes, come here to the girl, and she just jumps off the fucking mountain. Because that's like, you know when you watch movies with bad guys and you see them and they shoot one of their own men, and you're like, oh, watch out, this guy means business. To me, that's far more effective than anything else. The way it's not a show of violence in any way.
No, look how much power I have.
This is how much power I actually have. Like, it's killer.
I mean, speaking of like the flesh sacrifices, I love the fact that when they hypnotize the girl in the first snake tower, she's hypnotized, she falls down into the pit with the giant snake.
Yep.
And they're all kind of surprised when she starts screaming. Yeah. And then they look in like, oh shit, the snake's dead. And that's why she's screaming, not, well, she's being devoured by a snake, so you won't hear a peep from her, you know?
Yeah.
Good night. You know?
We've done our job.
This should be a nice, quiet, easy devouring.
I love that mission.
She's skinny.
I love how the tower looks like it's made out of rope, but it's not. Sorry, moving on.
The well. Oh no, the big tower with the snakes on the top that they climb up.
Snake scales.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's a wicked design.
Yeah.
Wicked design.
And the other thing is at the end. So when he kills off Thulsa Doom, comes back around, and I feel that it's pure Arnie that he wants to swing the fire and set it on fire. For me, looking at that now, I was like, well, it's a big set. We've made it. We're going to get rid of it anyway. Did you want to burn it down? Like, I felt like that's what they did it for.
I love that it doesn't go where it's meant to go.
Yeah.
I love that it misses and just kind of
still catches fire.
And still catches fire. It's like, oh, well, then
because
fine.
literally it's the long shot of them going away up the thing. And that thing is fully on fire.
On fire in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're burning the fuck
There's
out of
no
that thing.
CG in that at all.
That was
fully
final
on,
shot.
yeah.
We're wrapping at the end of this rap party at midnight.
Cigars out, everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell.
Cigars for all.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the princess like bows down to him, like, okay, you've replaced Thulsa, you know, and he just kind of walks past
and he's
her
like,
and
whatever.
Come on, get the fuck up.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wish we knew more about the dude that was Conan's owner.
Yeah.
Really?
He seems like a really fucking interesting character, man.
He was good. I wanted more of the king.
way, like, he treats him like a son, kind of. When you think, like, the initial relationship would be more of, like, I'm going to buy you because I know you're strong as shit and you're going to make me a bunch of money in these cage fights.
Yeah.
Which he does. Which is a great little sequence, by the way, where he goes from, like, having no fucking clue what he's doing and just by instinct breaking someone's arm and jamming his head against the wall to being, like, this dude, like someone from American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Like, Vulcan.
And I love, throughout the whole of this movie, Arnie is wearing some stupid fucking helmets.
I love those cheesy, dumb helmets, though, because they look like a bunch of shitty archaic armor that he's just found.
He's just yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but that the dude that owns him, you watch him as he kind of goes on, and he goes and gets the crazy training, and he learns all the stuff, and then he sets him free, and the camera just sits on him, and he's like crying and shit.
Yeah,
like, fuck, that's like.
That's deep.
It's deep, man. Why do we know more about this guy? This guy's got a fucking good story,
that's
man.
That's what I love about this movie. I love that you don't need to know that. Just like The Witch.
No, I'm not asking for, like, I don't want him to have a sit down and a bit of a you are my son and all that kind of shit. But, you know, like, it's disappointing. It's almost like there's like an abundance of good things in this movie that sometimes it's kind of like, oh, man, I want some more of that shit. I want more of this shit. Like, it's lovely when something like that happens.
It's funny. I've never thought about that guy ever before. Like, I mean, I've obviously watched it happen and been like, oh, it's great that he sets him free, but it's kind of like he takes him away to get him trained to be a better pit fighter and then just never takes him back to the pits. He's like, oh, you're too good for that now.
Yeah.
You've graduated.
Well, this is what I mean. I think it's kind of like, I think he actually does develop like a fatherly bond with him and is like, well, I don't want this life for you anymore. So instead of keeping you here now that you're fully trained and just being a cage fighter, I'll go find some other dude for that.
Yeah.
You go and live your life. You're too good for this shit.
Exactly.
That's great, man.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty much done. Have you got any more?
I got a couple of little things, but not much. I love to see, it's good to see like the rotoscoping effect that we don't see anymore, the drawn on the film
Oh, I love that.
Special
the demons.
effects, like the demons
yeah,
and
that
when
works
she
more-
flies around and the sparks. I just love that effect, and I miss it so much.
Yeah.
From
It
stuff
doesn't
now.
date at all. Does
No,
No,
does
it
not
really
date.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It's the same with stop motion animation. I feel that some stop motion is scarier than CG.
Yeah, when
The
like
same
good
with-
stop motion,
there's-
when it's I don't like the like I mean, you know, you respect how fucking clever and amazingly time consuming it is, but like the
Yeah.
Ray Harryhausen stuff, I don't really have it.
No. I'm talking.
'cause
That's a bit dated. Sure,
it looks a
but
bit ridiculous because
yeah.
it's full scenes, but I love when it's just like
just subtly
subtle
used.
stuff.
Yeah,
Because you it looks real. It's because in essence it is real.
yeah.
So
exactly.
of course it looks real.
Exactly.
But
But yeah, those demons, man.
they're
They
so
are
great.
scary.
They're really scary, and I
Yeah.
love that. Like, you know, obviously it was drawn on after it was filmed, so you just kind of tell her, "Hey, just wave your arms around and pretend like you're getting demons off them."
But Super Toy takes a punch. I didn't realize there's a demon puts his hands together like that and cracks Super
Well,
Toy,
that's-
and he
that's-
reacts
yeah,
to it. I'm
but
like,
that's the great thing because he would have told him to do a bunch of stuff, and then the
Yeah.
guy in the end would be like, "Oh, okay,
Okay, I
I'm
gotta
drawing this
draw
shit
this
on. I'm
shit,
drawing
yeah.
this shit on."
Yeah.
That looks fucking great. Yeah, look, I think I'm pretty much done.
I do like her. I always think of it as a Darth Vader burial. How they burn her on that on the top of that thing.
Well, it's like a warrior's burial.
A warrior's
which is meant
burial.
to be like a Valkyrie. isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. And if I don't want to, this comes back to me, but I don't want to be cremated. But if I were to be cremated, I want it to be like that, on top of a hill in a
Like,
big
with, like, your
bonfire.
enemy's weapons around.
Yeah. Tell me that's not awesome.
I'm just impressed that both of you like this film. Kind of almost sounds like basically as much as I do. Like
Fuck yeah,
normally
man.
people just straight away would disregard it as sword and sorcery
because I
junk.
think I might have initially, when I first came back to it as an adult, I think I might have just been like, "Oh, I liked it because it was trash when I was a kid." And it's
No.
like it's violent and there's, you know, naked chicks and stuff. And so when you're a kid, it's kind of like it's one of those movies you feel like you're a grown up because you're watching it.
Yeah.
And so there's that
'Cause there's
thrill.
so much
but the
sex.
first, yeah, but well, you know, and you're a kid, like that's what I mean. When
And
you're
it's
a kid,
quite violent.
it's super violent, and
Yeah.
so you kind of there's that extra level of thrill to watching it. But I think from the first time I watched it as an adult, I realized that there was a lot more going on, and now this time even more because it's just like the shit you pick up on, man. It's heaps of stuff going on in this.
Yeah, man.
You can see that it's not necessarily that easy a formula to get right, though, because he makes two other films really similar to this. One is obviously the terrible sequel.
Yeah,
Destroyer.
That is, I mean, that even with, I mean, I like Grace Jones.
Oh, I love
bringing
Grace
in
Jones.
another like physically strong woman. Don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
That film just stinks for a number
Yeah.
of reasons.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
It
weird
doesn't
child.
work.
I think they take the rating down to make
it's
it
a-
make
it's a
more
PG.
money.
They do, yeah.
They go to
It's a little bit
PG.
more Hollywood.
I mean, the other thing we didn't say is Conan was incredibly successful as well, wasn't it? It cost like 18 mil and made some like a pretty decent
yeah. Well, it
amount
made
of money.
him crazy famous. Like this was.
Oh, this was the
it.
one out of the
Yeah,
box,
it
yeah.
was
And then
like-
it was chronologically it went Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, the Terminator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he also makes crappy Red Sonja. That's the other. So that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other sword and sorcery.
Which isn't his fault. He's kind of he's
He's
a
just-
supporting
he's-
role in
yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's not a very good movie.
I still own it because
Brigitte Nielsen.
no, Barbarian, Destroyer, Red Sonja. It was the flavor. It was my childhood.
Yeah, it's
Do you know
kind
what I
of.
mean? Like
yeah,
I had all
it's-
three.
Sure.
But they are really considerably worse than this.
Oh, yeah,
like I mean,
horrible.
not even. Oh, you know, it could have been better if.
Yeah.
They're just lacking
I remember
something.
do you remember the wizard in Destroyer with the mirrors? That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes far more kiddie kind of friendly,
Yeah.
and it turns it amps up the fantasy stuff and takes down the sword and sorcery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. yeah.
Which is disappointing. The last thing I want to say is that like this idea of one of my favorite writers about movies is William Goldman. You know, the screenwriter William Goldman.
Yeah.
So he's written a bunch of books, and I've got a few of them, and I love. He mentions the thing about when he hears of an actor passing away, he talks about where do you leave them? Like, where do you leave your favorite actors?
Right.
Like, and you know, he uses the example of, you know, for him, like Bogart. Do you leave him?
Oh wow.
In the bar in Casablanca, or do you leave him
Absolutely.
on, you know,
With the Maltese Falcon.
with the Maltese
Yeah.
Falcon, or
Yeah.
do you leave him on the river with Katharine Hepburn?
So you leave
Like-
Conan on the throne.
No, well, this is my thing.
Go on.
I think my shot is going to be after he's resurrected with
Yeah.
the sword,
Yep.
and he's doing the stuff on the sword, and the wind's blowing, and the beach behind
and he's
him.
looking at his hand.
Yep, I
that's
think
a
that
beautiful
might be where
shot.
I end up leaving Arnie.
I love that shot.
Yeah, wow.
Because I think
Well,
of all that
I've
stuff,
never heard of that before. That's really nice.
it's really beautiful. Yeah, it's a really lovely concept.
That's lovely.
And I remember watching, I was like, "Fuck, this might be my iconic Arnie shot
Arnie
right
shot.
now.
Yes,
Because
I
for
love
most
it.
people, it's going to be the thumbs up going into the lava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I already see that on the news.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to see him going into the
For
lava.
sure.
Yeah.
But
Conan.
That's it. Conan the Barbarian.
Fuck. God, I love this movie.
Yeah, me too.
Good movie.
Do
Thumbs
you know
up all
what?
around.
Watching this has made me want to see. Not that it'll be any good, but I want to watch Destroyer.
Don't do
Yeah,
it.
I think
I
I'll watch
know.
Destroyer
No, don't do
again.
Last time this happened, I went back and it just...
I know it's
You
shit,
know,
but
we've talked about where you want to leave someone.
Yeah.
Where you don't want to leave them is
Yeah.
Conan the Destroyer.
no,
man.
where you
That-
don't want to leave them is the 6th day.
No, the 6th day is better than Conan the Destroyer, okay? It's better than Conan the Destroyer.
Really?
Even a razor is better.
Your luggage.
A razor. I love a razor.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
we're gonna have to have a full Arnie retrospective.
A retrospective.
of
I
some
would like to do
description.
that. I would.
We might have to get you back on for that, Ben.
Oh,
I reckon that
Last
might
Action
be,
Hero. Let's
I think
go.
that might be your
Last
your-
Action
my
Hero has to
forte.
have
Yeah.
its own.
Yeah, that'll need its own.
Need its own.
All right, so a little tradition we have.
Keeping the tradition. I like traditions.
Well, it's not a tradition yet because it's only happened once. But
that's true. But
as more guests come on, we will be sure to keep this tradition going. And plus, I have a kind of cool sound effect thing that I've worked out that goes underneath it.
that's
so
true.
I don't want that to go to waste.
And we have had some correspondents saying that they would like theme music to this.
to this segment as well. Oh,
Tina
that's right.
Turner.
No, did we do this online on the show?
No, we didn't.
I thought we might have.
We could do this. So this segment.
I'm actually certain.
This segment is called Grilling the Guest, and we could do it like Grilling the Guest. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, no, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
I think that was in the last episode when we did it. I reckon we might have sung it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, decent.
Anyway,
this is Grilling the Guest.
it's Grilling the Guest.
Come
This
on,
is when
grill
we
me,
have
boys.
our guest answer a series of who'd you rather style questions.
Fast paced.
Fast paced, no fucking around here. It's you get your first thing that comes in your mind, no
Yep.
explanation needed. Chances are you'll feel guilty about your answer afterwards. But
Some explaining. Well,
some
I like
explaining
some
at the
explaining
end.
afterwards, yeah.
We might come back and ask for a bit of clarification here and there.
And we've
But,
added a few
mostly
this
it's
week.
it's a good opportunity for our listeners who obviously know a lot about us because
Yeah.
they hear us fucking waffle on every week.
Yeah.
To get a bit of a quick indication of our guests' tastes.
Hell yeah.
What they lean
Well,
toward.
hopefully Ben's going to be a regular. I'd like Ben to be a regular.
Yeah,
Oh, I'd
fuck
like to
yeah.
be a regular.
All our
Yeah,
guests are going to be
good.
regulars, man. I can't wait. I
Fuck
love.
yeah.
We're building our
We're
community,
getting
my
there.
man.
We're getting there.
So why don't we get this fucking thing rolling?
All
Grilling
right.
the guest, Ben.
Do
Are
it.
you ready?
Yeah, lay it on me. Let's
Do you
grill.
want to go
Here
first?
we go. Am I going first?
You can go first.
All right, here we go.
Ready and
Okay, here we go. Scorsese or Spielberg?
Scorsese.
Alien or Predator?
Predator.
Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger.
Lion King or Beauty and the Beast?
Aladdin.
Oh! But, Pacino or De Niro?
Pacino.
Burton's Batman or Donna's Superman?
Burton's Batman.
Ooh, nice. Judi Dench or Helen Mirren?
Judi Dench.
Nice.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
The wars, always the wars.
Always
Forever
the
and
wars.
ever and ever.
Oh. Labyrinth or the Dark Crystal?
The Dark Crystal.
Nice.
Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire?
Gene Kelly.
Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers?
Jason.
Jason.
really?
All right.
And-
Oh, well, we've got one last one.
Last one.
This is especially chosen for Ben, whose favourite movie this relates to.
Go for it.
Replicant or not a replicant?
Replicant, gentlemen.
Ooh.
There's only a couple of years left.
When's his expiration date?
I don't know. I've only seen it like twice. Ben, when's his expiration date?
I have no idea.
But if he, what's the general life on him? 4 years.
4 years.
So
Oh,
if he's,
really?
how long do we assume he's been around for at the start of the movie?
Well, theoretically, it could have been a week, couldn't it? Like it literally,
Could that be his first day on the job?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like the weirdest thing about it is that he comes back to Tyrell maybe like a day after he's left. Like that's kind of the cool, weird kind of almost Groundhog Day thing of it. It's like they let him loose to catch the other replicants, and the first thing he has to do is be tested against Rachel.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's why it's a mindfuck. It's
I need
fucking
to see this
awesome.
again. Seriously.
Yeah, I think
It's massive amounts of rewatching for me.
that is interesting.
Oh.
That interesting.
I love
Do
it.
you know what? None of those answers surprised me at all.
Oh, really?
Especially the Schwarzenegger and Predator question.
Yeah,
we did just talk about Schwarzenegger for like an hour and a half.
I think
Yeah, that's
It was
true.
interesting because it was kind of like, yep, no, Yep.
Aladdin?
That makes sense.
Yeah, Aladdin
broke the
kills
mold.
both those films.
Aladdin?
Sorry,
Really?
I don't feel that
I
at all.
only wanted to break the mold on one question.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yeah, no. Aladdin is just the best thing that Disney have ever done.
Okay.
Well, that was Grilling the Guest.
That was Grilling the Guest.
Dun, dun, dun. Tina Turner makes me want to watch
That was good.
Thunderdome. It
And
really
as
does.
I think I'm going to introduce a new tradition to Grilling the Guest.
Ooh.
As the recently grilled guest, Ben,
Oh.
I'd like you to add another Who'd You Rather for our next guest.
Oh, that's hard.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
No, because then we can build like a little nest egg. I reckon it'd
yeah,
be
that's a
good.
good one. That's a good one.
It's Marvel or DC, I think. Jeff.
Oh.
That's a big
Oh, I
question.
That's how you make friends, hey?
Yeah.
That's how you know
That's
who
it.
your friends are.
Yes, there's definitely no arguing between
Jesus.
those.
That's
two
a little
groups of people.
intense.
All right, I like it. I like it. Straight to the fucking point.
Fuck yeah.
No fucking around.
Yeah.
It's time to do the mailbag.
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 We could do that like Mully Grubs. Not everything should have an intro, I think.
No, look, we're dangerously close to becoming trashy.
Yeah.
Dangerously close.
Walking the fine line. Would you like to read our mailbag, Tys?
Yeah, just bear with me. Just riff a little, boys, while I
Riff a little.
I get
What's
the
up?
email.
Who asked the question this week?
Who asked the question?
Which favourite listener?
I believe our mailbag is from the Mr. Robert Milady.
Friend of the podcast, Rob Milady.
Yeah, man, Rob Milady.
He was addressed. I'll tell you how he's addressed it at the end. He's quite lovely.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick and Tys. Loving the show, guys. Even though I seem to love most of the movies you hate and hate most of the movies you like. Troy, really? That's specifically aimed at me.
At Tyson.
Hey, I like Troy as well.
Hey!
Sorry,
Yes. I love it. I love it. The Troy lovers coming out of the
Wow.
fucking woodwork,
I didn't
man.
know there were them.
No, I don't. I don't think there's a great number
There's a
of
not
us.
number of you.
There's more of them than people like Lady in the Water, though.
Hey! That was aimed at me!
Yeah, right at you, Nick.
I'm actually
Fucking
fairly
Lady in the
certain
Water,
that is
fried green
definitely
tomatoes. Does anyone else want to fucking have a go?
true. And I'm going to follow on with this email because
go
it
on,
works
yeah.
perfectly.
Yep.
Anywho, after the news this week, or last week now, of Neil Marshall directing the reboot of Hellboy, which I am super excited for, Neil Marshall rules, I thought I'd get the remake reboot discussion flowing. What remakes do you love and hate? And what movie would you just love to see remade/rebooted? Keep the great movie talk flowing, guys. Your Rob Dog.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. We
Thanks, Rob Dog.
appreciate it. If you'd like to be featured on our mailbag section, please send us an email to nickTysonVideotape@gmail.com.
Hell yeah. Well, because we have a guest, I'm going to throw it to our guest first.
Yeah, I reckon.
I have mine.
I reckon we're going to let's try and be really strict about this, boys.
Yeah.
I want one of each.
One of each.
One remake that sucks, one remake that's excellent,
And one that you're looking
and
forward to.
one film you would like to see remade.
Okay. Fuck, that's going to be hard. Ben, do you have yours in the canon? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, easy to start with the one I hate, which is Old Boy. So
Oh, snap. Okay.
that
Spike
remake
Lee
of Old Boy
remake.
is just diabolical. And
Yeah.
the original film,
Josh Brolin.
it felt like they remade it just to put it in English, and I
Fair
can't
deal.
stand
I hate that.
There's not
hate
really a
Yeah.
lot of purpose to that, is there?
But would you
Like-
hang on? Can I ask? Then would you say that The Departed is in that category?
No, because it's a.
It's a different spin. It's a different take. It's a.
I feel like you put it in the hands of somebody. Well, you could say that about Spike Lee, I guess.
I still prefer Infernal Affairs to the.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
But I love The Departed, but they feel like different films.
Yeah,
Aside
that's what I
from-
was going to say.
aside
They
from
do feel like.
when he can only see the back of, it's he's following Matt Damon, and
Yeah.
that scene is like almost shot for shot the same. But
Oh,
other than
okay.
that, it does feel
It
like a
was
pretty
very
different film.
Yeah.
They definitely
I
have a love
saw
affair in The
Infernal
Departed, though.
Affairs before. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that those two, like, you re-edit the scenes and
Yeah,
all of
man.
a sudden it looks like they're lovers?
It's a lovers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovers too. I remember that.
Sexy. What about you, Nicholas?
Oh, what are we starting with? Hated?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to start with hated. I'm going to change it up because I don't know my hated just yet.
Oh.
I know my loved.
Okay.
My actual favorite remade is Dredd.
Yeah. Wow.
The Dredd remake is it's not a remake. It's
Alright.
just if you want to make it a reboot or whatever.
Yeah, that's
That
fair.
is fucking intense.
I'll pay that.
Dredd, man. There needs to be a sequel to that.
Yeah.
Fucking
Couldn't agree more. That film was fucking
Insane.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
It was
wicked.
insane.
It's going to be the TV show.
I know, which I'm not.
What? They're making a TV show?
Yeah, I've just heard that they are planning on doing, but it's not just Judge Dredd. It's going to be the whole
It's
Judge
going to be the
core.
yeah.
Did they get Is Carl Urban Dredd?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was awesome.
He was
really
intense.
awesome.
He was awesome,
Um,
and he was down with everything. He knew the character. He didn't take the helmet off. It was perfect. That's what you want.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was mine.
All right, I'll do my most hated,
Ooh.
I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of did a thing where I definitely didn't want to do one that I hadn't seen both the original and the remake. So, but the one that I definitely seen both and definitely fucking hate the remake is the Robocop remake.
Oh yeah, good one.
Which I just thought missed the point completely of Robocop.
Fucking horrible.
It was so completely just void of anything that made the first one effective. Like in every single way and shape and form.
Yeah.
There was a kind of a cool scene where he's revealed to just be basically a brain, a head on a robot body.
Yeah.
Like he was well fucked up.
Mm.
But apart from that, there was just nothing. There was nothing in it that even came close to the effectiveness of the first one.
No.
None of the social commentary, satire,
Gratuitous violence, anything.
None of the
Anything.
but obviously that kind of that 80s style violence is playing into a lot of that social satire, and it just none of that was there. It became like a really generic kind of not even really an action movie because there's action elements, but they tried to make it like
not even like Michael Keaton or fucking Gary Oldman could pick that thing up.
Nah.
That's how shit it was.
It was disappointing. The suit looked shit.
It really did, didn't it?
And the finale was so piss poor. Like,
yeah, man.
It was basically like spoilers for Robocop, I guess. Fuck it.
If you are listening to this podcast and you like Robocop the remake,
if you were about to chuck that in, give it a spin, and now we've ruined it for you, you can actually thank me later.
Yeah, man.
The finale is basically just him willing himself to overcome his directive on a launching pad, and it's in the most dumbest way. Like he's taking steps. It's like when it's like those scenes in movies where someone's like got a magnet, or like in Three Amigos when Steve Martin's tied to that thing where he has to keep taking the slow steps to get forward to get the key.
Yeah,
it was like that, but for Robocop, and he just forced his way through. He just basically went magically willed his directives away, and I'm like, this is horseshit. This is shit. Fucked.
Yeah,
it was such a disappointing ending to an amazingly disappointing movie. So
it was.
There you go, Robocop.
Back to you, Ben.
We're back around. Loved.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a remake that I've seen lately.
Oh, really?
That's really blown me away.
Okay. I've got two. I've got my hated. Should I go next?
Yeah, no, you can do
I'll let you think,
Go
Ben.
for it.
Yeah.
My most hated fucking remake is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, cool.
Fuck me. That was one thing that I wanted. To give it a chance to do the lead up to Fred Krueger becoming the thing that attacks you in the night. You were going to see him be the child molester murderer that he was. The parents burn him, and then he becomes Freddy Krueger. Fuck me, you shat all over this thing. It was just crap. I'm not going to talk about it more because I fucking hate it. I really fucking do. I hate it.
There's
But yeah, but the thing is, what got me in was the fact that I knew that they were going to go into the backstory a bit more, so I was sold. Next, you cast someone that actually could, come toe to toe with Robert Englund. I love Jackie Earle Haley. I think he could have been awesome, man.
That was a great casting choice on paper.
Yeah, didn't work out. Didn't work out at all.
Well,
fuck me.
I think a big part of. You're saying that you like the idea of finding out more about Freddy.
I just wanted a bit,
Well, but I just feel like
it was better without.
Anything that you find out will be ultimately disappointing, I think.
No, I just think that
Don't
they could have done it better.
That it's better, he's better just existing as this fucking nightmare
I love
fuel.
It. Yeah, but I love that.
We don't need to know...
No, we don't need to. I don't want it all. I don't want the whole film to be about it. I just want...
I get what you're saying. I'm sure there are examples of it done well, but generally it's pretty much any time an iconic character like that, there is an attempt to explain its existence, it sucks. Like, there's very rare instances of that working.
The only thing that I can think of that works like that is, and this is, I know that I'm kind of a bit alone here, is Rob Zombie's Halloween, showing why Mike Myers is the way that he is.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like that.
No, I think
a lot of people didn't like that.
You're pretty alone in that.
I know I'm
because I know a lot of people
I love that
like
movie.
those movies, but
Yeah.
I think most people will point to those moments as being
because you
the
don't
weaker
want to
parts of
know,
it.
like you don't want to know what Mike Myers' backstory was. I wanted a little bit of Fred Krueger. Pardon me. I wanted a little bit of Fred Krueger and then go into, you know, the things that they could do, like the fact that he attacks you in your dreams. The things about dreams is you see things that don't make any sense. Everyone's had a dream that you wake up and go, what the fuck did that mean? You know,
Yes.
and that's what they tapped into in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. When Nancy goes through the school and her friend is in a body bag and then she gets dragged by nothing and then all of a sudden she runs around that corner, bumps into the janitor, which is really shit. Where is your pass? Fucking line. And then she looks behind her and the hallway is covered in leaves and there's a goat that runs past, a sheep that runs past. Shit like that happens in dreams.
Yeah, sounds like my dreams.
And that's what I wanted a little bit more. I can't wait till we do a Nightmare on Elm Street, the original episode. Bring it on.
I've got my remake.
Oh, go for it.
Nolan's Insomnia.
Yeah, good call.
So I fucking love that film. We've already you've grilled me.
We've grilled you with
with my Pacino or my De Niro,
Yeah.
and I have to say that I love my Pacino, and Pacino is like that's the last really good Pacino.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the fact that he's older and kind of a little kind of thin in the face, it just kind of adds.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah.
I love that film. I've seen the original as well, which is still really good because it's Stellan Skarsgård, I think, in the original, and that's a great film.
Yeah.
But
I don't know that one. What is the?
So it's Insomnia again, obviously, and it's actually it's from 1997, and it is a Norwegian.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
he took that and remade it, and he does a fucking awesome job.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams is just such a weird, creepy villain.
He's so good. So good.
I liked his little patch of being a weird unit.
Oh, I loved it.
Williams.
Yeah.
It was a good little patch.
1 hour photo.
It's a good fucking
that
movie,
was scary.
man.
That was fucking scary.
Yeah.
God, it was
Creepy
good.
fucking movie.
Yeah, man.
All right. What do we got left? My remake I loved. Has everyone else done? You've done your hated. Is this my?
I've got my hated. Oh, I've got the one that something that you
we'll get
want
to that.
to see.
All right, so I'll do my.
So you do your.
I'll do my one I
you
love.
Do your one you love.
Well, same rules apply. I wanted to do one that I'd seen the original and the remake.
Yep.
And so the one I'm going to pick is one that I've seen both. And I actually like both the remake and the original. I think they're both incredibly effective examples of each other, really. And that is Let the Right One In and Let Me In, the American remake by Matt Reeves, which I think they're both really fucking good movies, man. Like the new one, the remake, it's got killer cast like Cody Schmidt-McPhee, who is probably the least kind of annoying Australian import that we've had for like quite some time. Like he's the kind of kid you look at and you go, hey man, you deserve
not
this
bad.
shit.
Yeah.
You're actually really good at this.
Deal. Yeah.
Chloe Moretz, who's really effective.
She's
and
gold. She's going to
actually
be amazing.
having Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins.
I'm like, fucking, what was his name? Yeah, Richard Jenkins, who I think is an incredibly great screen presence, like, and it elevates anything that he's in, and it's actually good to have him in that because I think part of the, when you've got two younger actors, I think sometimes you need a bit of an anchor or someone with a bit of gravitas.
God, I love that movie. That was good. That were good movies.
It's really fucking good, and it's
the bullying.
It's not necessarily terrifying. Like I wouldn't.
No,
really, they're not really horror movies in the same. It's
a different take of the vampire.
Yeah, But God, and the finale in both of them is incredibly effective. The swimming pool.
Yeah.
Scene.
Another instance of less is more.
Yeah.
You don't see anything, but fuck me, is that violent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, I recommend that's a remake I definitely get behind.
Nice.
All right, film you want to see remade in 25 words or less? Go.
Mine is getting remade. It's this year, and it's Stephen King's It. I've wanted to see it remade for fucking ages. Can't wait.
It's a good choice.
Fucking bring it on, man.
That whole that older one is fine,
but it needs to be remade.
That book
can be remade.
better than that film, so let's give it a good chance to be great.
Man.
Good call.
Ben?
I think I'd like to see Starship Troopers get remade.
Oh,
I really like that
Interesting.
film,
dude.
but I would just love to see kind of what someone else would do with it. As well.
Yeah.
Like some really interesting director.
Good point.
Why is it Verhoeven that keeps getting remade? What is it about
Total
him?
Recall, Robocop, and
Yeah, and both of the remakes have been terrible.
they've been
And
fucking
they're
shit.
terrible.
They've been really
Fate.
shit.
Maybe I'm tempting fate and getting it remade.
Because I've heard of a Starship Troopers remake.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
like I've heard that it's been one of the things discussed. Like there's
Yeah.
been rumors, and
Of course it is.
but for some reason,
I
it's
think
just his
because
films.
Verhoeven doesn't mind, he'll have some cash. He's not making anything, is he? Is he making anything?
He just made that movie L.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Which was apparently fucking great.
Yeah.
So I might have to check that
decent.
out. But yeah, maybe he does just trying to strike me as the guy that's kind of like, you know what, do whatever you like, man. It's like the original exists.
Go for it.
But he probably knows that they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah,
he probably sits
exactly.
there and goes, "No, you're not going
Good
to
luck.
be able, you're not
Good
going
luck
to
to
be
you."
able to do. I know that I know what I'm fucking doing.
I kind of
Exactly.
think someone could take that kind of intergalactic propaganda thing and actually make it cool.
Yeah,
I just
man.
didn't like the actors in Starship Troopers very much. Like, I mean, I like
don't
them
like
all.
what's
I
his
just
name.
didn't think they were.
No, see, but this is part of.
Is there gone?
Well, there's two ways you can think about it. They're shit actors, or Verhoeven is very deliberately
Making them- yeah, that's what I thought when
allowing
I-
them to be shit because it sells a certain vibe to it. Because Casper Van Dien is so like
Two-dimensional.
gee shucks mum
Yeah.
about it all, and it adds to that the propaganda machine
that
kind of
cheesy
style.
war propaganda.
Yeah. Or they could just be shit, and we're seeing far too much in a movie that.
Yeah.
But apparently, like the source material is not at all like that.
Oh,
Like
right.
the source material is really like sincere and stuff.
I
So.
remember trying to rewatch Starship Troopers not that long ago, and it didn't hold up.
Oh no! I have
It
absolutely
doesn't
no
at
trouble
all.
watching that film. I think it's wonderful.
I
Always.
wanted to love it.
I watched it. Yeah, not too.
Would you
long
like
ago.
to know more?
I
You
think,
know?
I think it's fucking great.
I think the script is awesome, but the effects.
I think the effects
Dated
are
a
pretty
little?
great, man.
Yeah.
Like some of the spaceship stuff looks a bit naff because we're in a different time now, but the bugs
Yeah.
are pretty fucking great. I think.
Fair deal. I'll give it another watch.
And it's
Fuck,
like
I own it.
it's so like gloriously bloody.
That's right, Ben. I fucking own it.
Like it's just like the blood is just
Yeah.
It's so like the violence is just so over the top in a just such a glorious way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it.
I really enjoy that movie. But especially now, I guess, because we're in such a fucking
Yeah, it
shitstorm
can
of a
work
time.
now. It
that
can definitely work
where
now.
we're
Fuck yeah.
we're two fucking
Clicks
hairs
away from World War III.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Moving on to something happier, Tyson.
All right.
What's
so,
yours?
I had two written down. I'm still not decided which one I'm going to do. I'm going to say the one. This is a movie I think I've recommended in Crossing the Streams,
Okay.
perhaps. And I
Yeah.
think I made you, and you were kind of like, oh, that sounds fucking wicked. But I would love to see the movie Toy Soldiers remade.
Oh, I actually watched
Wait,
this
like
for
the one about the toys with military.
No,
that's Small
That's
Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
I was gonna be like, what the fuck are you guys doing watching that?
Toy Soldiers is the random movie about
Kids taking on terrorists.
the snotty boarding school that gets overrun by terrorists.
Yeah.
with
It has
Sean Austin.
Sean Austin,
yeah, and Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
And Lou Gossett Jr.
I don't know whether I mentioned it on a previous episode because I watched this.
You
about
had since watched it.
2 weeks ago.
Great.
Yeah.
How fucking fun was it?
It's fucking awesome.
It's out of control.
Yeah.
And it's super 80s now, and probably not,
but it could totally work now. Yeah, that's a really
for
good
people
idea.
kind of going to watch it now, they might not have the same value. Like I'm actually happy that you really enjoyed it because I feel like anyone that would go to watch it now might find it a bit trashy.
Yeah.
I love
I
it
don't
for
think
its
you know-
nostalgic value.
I'm not your normal person. I own fried green tomatoes, don't I,
There
Ben?
you go. But that could work. I think that would be really good, especially now. Like if you have these like snotty rich kids now are very different to
Yeah.
snotty 80s rich kids.
Totally.
And terrorism's obviously very different. We can't just have that same kind of mentality anymore because
No. It'd
doesn't-
have to be done.
It'd have to be really differently.
It'd have to be done tasteful.
Well,
I don't know if you
but
could
it's
do
not even about
tasteful
it.
terrorism.
It's not really tasteful. It's more just it would be a lot more sophisticated, I think, than just dudes running around with machine guns and shit. Like
on top of every bell tower.
yeah, so and
with
I think
sniper rifles.
there's definitely potential for it there because the
Hell
story
yeah,
itself
man.
is great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when they remade Red Dawn. In my head, I was kind of like, why aren't you remaking Toy Soldiers? 'Cause it's like they're essentially kids in war.
Yeah.
It's essentially kind of similar things.
Yeah,
This would be a far better choice than Red Dawn.
totally.
Yeah. Hollywood, give me money.
Yeah.
for
Can
Ben.
I just do a little quick shout out? Just two quick, quickly
man.
shout outs
Yeah.
to two things that have been remade that I fucking love. Is Ocean's 11 the original?
Yep.
And would you call Fury Road a reboot?
No, it's a sequel.
It's a sequel?
Yeah.
It's a sequel.
Or a prequel.
Well, perhaps a prequel.
Okay, you know what? It's too talked about. I'm just going to shout.
It could happen between Mad Max and Mad Max 2.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that the Tom Hardy is the kid from 2. That he gives the
Dog.
You mean the Boomerang kid?
I was about to say
Yeah.
Dog Boy. What's Dog Boy from? That's something else. Is he Dog Boy?
I don't know if it's Dog Boy.
Oh.
I haven't seen
The Boomerang kid.
The Boomerang Kid.
The
Okay.
crazy feral kid.
Yeah. There is talk
And he's
that
just taken the
is-
name.
Yeah, he's just taken the name. That's what
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I thought he had visions of his dead child.
Well, that's the thing. That's the counter.
Yeah, okay.
But
Not that his child is ever actually born.
there you go.
Yeah, anyway.
Moving on. Yeah, that was
Well, thanks, Rob, for your letter.
yeah.
Your email. If you'd like us to feature your letter on the mailbag section,
man.
send us an email to nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com.
Please do give us rad questions like that.
Hmm.
That was a good question,
That
Rob.
was a good question.
Yeah.
We're going to cross some streams.
Crossing the streams.
Nice. How's your high falsetto?
It's bad.
Crossing the streams.
Oh, that's not bad.
Nice. That's good.
I'll pay
That's
that.
all
That's
right.
good. That's
All
good. That's good. Guest. Starting with the guest.
Starting with Ben. Ben, what are you doing?
So this is what I would watch on a streaming service. Is that correct?
So
Yeah.
the idea is that
explain-
because Australian streaming is nowhere near as great as the overseas one.
Really
Our
isn't.
choices are limited. Our titles are nowhere near as many. So we give this opportunity to shout out to our Australian listeners that if you're trying to struggle to find something to watch, here's what we recommend on our streaming services.
Cool. So on Stan, watch Sicario.
Cool. Awesome.
That film is like all the best bits of old school Michael Mann kind of put together in a modern cartel-y border war twist.
Hell yeah.
It has the tensest traffic jam I've ever seen in a film, and
Sick.
it's really, really good.
Awesome. Sicario.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
Emily Blunt in that. Top notches. Like, she was already amazing for me anyway, but Jesus, just the shit that she pulls out in that movie.
Yeah, she is awesome.
She is
And
hands
apparently,
down
Denis
fucking amazing.
Villeneuve had to fight really hard to get her into that film as the lead, and she
That makes
pays.
no sense to me. Like, she's bankable, man.
They
but
wanted it to be a dude.
They wanted to be a dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like no one would believe in a female FBI rescuer or whatever. She's
But to be honest,
member.
having her be female makes it so much more full on.
Yep, and it is
And it
really
just works.
Really
Tyson's going to
good.
watch it and he's going to fucking love it. Yeah, man.
Indeed.
Sicario.
Great.
On Stan.
Yeah, on
On
Stan.
Stan.
I love
Nice. Nice.
Nicholas.
Mine is, I'm going to choose something different. Mine is on SBS Demand, Tys. Yeah. Mine is Waiting for Guffman.
All right.
Fucking love it.
Nice.
Come on, Waiting for Guffman. If
Yeah.
anyone hasn't, this is sort of the mockumentary comedy, which started with. Did it start with This Is Spinal Tap? I don't know. If it, this is where it came from, and then Christopher Guest kind of took it over, and he's done his. It's not a trilogy anymore. He has 4 or 5, including mascots. But yeah, this is the first one, and it's just insanely funny. It takes a small town doing a stage show to places that you don't really think that it's going to go. It's just it sets the camera, and ad-libbing in this, like just riffing off each other, is just
Yeah,
amazing.
these guys are the best ad-libbers.
Absolutely.
I think, like, you know, the fucking what's his name?
Go on.
Who's the fucking
Christopher Guest?
No, who's the guy that produces every comedy now? Judd Apatow. So the Judd Apatow crew, I think they're the better improvers, but
But they're really not.
It's the Christopher Guest crew.
Yeah, man.
Like those
Christopher
guys,
Guest.
like they're like so much more focused
Yeah.
in their ad libs and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they're just so very funny.
And this is, I don't know whether Best in Show is my favorite of his. Like I could watch Best in Show.
Yeah,
is
Best in Show is my favorite
in my
as
top
well.
10 always of films ever.
Yeah, I actually really liked For Your Consideration, even though I know a lot of people think it's kind of shit.
Well,
I loved it because
I like it. It was just
about movies.
Yeah,
so
it was
digging
missing
it.
it was missing the talking heads for me, and I love those talking head.
Yeah,
moments.
okay.
I still love it, but yeah, A Mighty Wind, man. I try and watch A Mighty Wind as the least, not because it's my least favorite, because it has the most emotions for me.
Sure.
Like, it makes me bawl my eyes out at the end. It's so good. But yeah, start with Waiting for Guffman, man.
Did you has anyone seen Mascots?
Yeah, I watched it.
How was it?
It was missing. It was missing. What is the actor's name? What is American Pie Dad?
Eugene Levy.
It was missing Eugene Levy. So because they write it together, Eugene and Christopher Guest, this was just a Christopher Guest film, The Mascots. So it was missing that Levy, and you could tell that something was missing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Especially...
It was just okay, wasn't it? Whereas Best in Show is phenomenal, and Mascots was...
It was okay. It's
funny.
Still... it still had its elements. Like, it was funny, but yeah, it just wasn't... It wasn't up there.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
What's yours, Thomas?
I'm going to recommend one on Stan. Copland.
Oh, yeah.
James Mangold directed and wrote this, maybe. Sylvester
97,
Stallone.
man. Awesome.
Oh, hey. It's a fucking anniversary.
Oh!
Watch out.
Look out.
20-year anniversary
James
of Copland.
Mangold, man.
Holy shit, fuck.
Fuck yeah.
Sylvester Stallone
Logan.
kind of in like actor mode, which is like he doesn't get enough rap for being like a really fucking great actor. And he gets an opportunity to be not the tough guy, not the glamorous kind of flawless hero. He gets to be really kind of a damaged kind of person, and he plays it really well. He gets kind of he gets bullied kind of by these guys in this town. He's the sheriff of this New Jersey town where it just so happens a lot of cops live there, a lot of police officers, and because obviously you get a whole bunch of cops together in the same place, they start to kind of have I guess they feel like they kind of have ownership over it. You would say that?
Yeah, man. This is my town.
Yeah. And, they tend to take advantage of Stallone as the sheriff. And then when shit starts to go down, Stallone decides he needs to kind of take it upon himself to bring some law.
I need to watch this again.
It's fucking great.
It's Harvey Keitel and Ray Liotta in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and De Niro.
That cast, man.
And Stallone keeps pace with all
Yeah,
no
fuck yeah, he
problem
does.
in that
Yeah.
film. He is awesome.
That's the thing. If he doesn't write or direct, he's got the chops to go in there sometimes.
I'd say. Well,
It's just that
he knows how to direct himself very well. There's not really a lot of opportunities that he's had to do a dramatic role where he hasn't written it or directed it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an oddity in that sense, which I love because I'm just bummed he doesn't have the opportunity to do more of this kind of stuff. And I think he's kind of time has passed now because he looks like a weird swollen I don't know, toy, I guess, like a He-Man figure.
He looked better in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He did look a bit better,
did,
yeah.
yeah.
He got rid of that weird goatee that made his face look like melted wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really does. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't think he did a particularly good job in Guardians though. It was
Mr. I am the law.
it was
Yeah, it was a callback to terrible Judge Dredd. Hey?
Yeah, man.
Get that helmet off as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Get it off.
But yeah, watch Copland. It's fucking great. Kind of, we talked about our love of westerns.
Fuck yeah.
This is a perfect example of the contemporary western.
Yeah, man.
Get on it. It's on Stan. It's fucking great.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Copland.
Well, that's going to wrap us up.
That was Nick Tyson Videotape, people.
It was. We want to thank our special guest
Ben.
for being here.
Thank you,
Thanks
Ben.
for having me,
Ben.
fellas. It was a blast.
Oh, you'll be back.
Oh, it was a blast. So, Nicholas,
Yes,
it's going to be you and I ourselves next week.
it will be.
We'll be guestless,
We'll be guestless.
but we're going to be talking about
What are we gonna do, Tice?
a movie that I am so fucking excited to talk about.
It's your pick.
It was my pick.
What do you got?
It's actually, I've tried to mention this a few times, and
That's
we've kind of, for other reasons and things, we've been like, let's delay it. Let's come back to that. We're going to be talking about, what year was it from?
80.
I want to say 87, because 87 is such a good year. Yes, 1987.
Oh, nice one.
Best year in cinema? Maybe best year in cinema. 1987's The Lost Boys.
Joel Schumacher, baby.
Joel fucking Schumacher,
Back in the day when he was good.
Yeah. This is
The Lost Boys, man.
a vampire horror comedy.
Oh,
Kiefer Sutherland,
I
Jason
love it.
Patrick,
A
and
soundtrack that fucking kicks fucking ass.
The two Coreys.
The two.
It's just all good.
Corey. Oh, is this where the two Coreys started? Is it?
Was it their first movie?
It's the first one I saw them in.
Oh.
Yeah. I might have to double check that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Kiefer.
Kiefer could be my favorite Kiefer performance.
Ooh.
Could be.
Better than 24, you mean?
Better than Nick's
up.
favorite television
Back up.
show ever.
Back up.
24.
24 is amazing. I won't have any bad words spoken about it.
So make sure
Please, you've watched 4 episodes.
Make sure you crack out your DVD copy of The Lost Boys and give it a watch, guys, because it's going to be a really fun chat. I'm super excited about that.
And even if you have it on Laserdisc, email us in, and Tyson will buy it from you.
I probably would buy that one, actually. That's one I'd want on Laserdisc.
Tell me you wouldn't want that.
Sure,
Laserdisc.
For sure.
Lost Boys, no?
I'm going to be giving the soundtrack a spin this week.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, Ben, for joining us.
Thanks, Ben.
It's been awesome.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Thank you for listening, everybody. You can find us on our email, on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can rate or review us on iTunes, get us on Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all that nonsense.
All that stuff.
We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, gang.
Bye, Nick.
Bye, Tys.
Bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben.
Bye, boys.
Bye. See you.
Bye.